Oh,
Hello?
hi.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hello, world. Hello, friends.
We are live.
We are
We are
so
live.
live. Internet, friends, pokey nerds alike, Ricky, and also special guests. Who do we have here?
I'm John.
I'm Derek.
We're Trader John's.
Trader John's. The boys, the men of Trader John's are here with us.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for joining us so much. We're gonna have such a fun live today, and we are what 3 weeks into the new year, and it sure feels like the Pokemon world is at full boom right now.
Oh
It
yeah.
seems like the start of this year is already a big different note than how last year ended.
Yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
like December ended, and then like the second January started, everyone was like, "Oh right, I like Pokemon again."
You remember like the last couple Collecticons, like November, December,
Mhm.
how they were feeling super empty.
Super slow.
And as soon as this year started, it's just been like boom, 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 packed shows.
Yeah.
Full speed ahead. Totally agree. Both Ricky and I also have that same exact experience. And we are so excited to be live with you guys today because we have a really fascinating topic. And once we kind of thought about this topic, my mind immediately went to you guys to have on as guest hosts because Ricky and I obviously have talked, directly or indirectly on this cast about having a Pokemon business,
Yep.
but we've never done it in a way where we had a partnership. And we also have some very significant business differences than you guys as far as like how we, generate revenue. And we really think that having you guys on would really round out this conversation. Plus, as a bonus, we're friends and we like you guys.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
So maybe we do a quick summary of what the last stream was about, Ricky, and then I turn the time over to Derek and John to kind of introduce themselves and tell the chat and the world what they're about.
Yeah. Let's see. The main topic of the last stream was whether 2026 was the year of the Pokemon graded card collapse.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe I feel like I say this a lot. Maybe we're just getting better at it each time we do it or whatever. It felt like a good one as far as like a Just You and Me episode. It was like, it's a really hot topic. We had a lot of good takes on it. The chat was giving us a lot of interesting thoughts. It was fun to just come back from the holidays and discuss that. And obviously we talked about some of the other things that were going on, like the new printing facilities and Logan Paul's Illustrator Pikachu and our biggest Clefumble of the year and our predictions for 2026. So anyone that didn't watch that one yet should definitely go watch that one after this stream.
That was a
Yeah.
good episode.
It was.
Thanks.
Thanks for summarizing that, Ricky. And yes, I agree. I had a lot of fun chatting about it. Lots of speculation in that episode.
Yes.
Because we just don't know what the future holds for graded cards, but they're inevitably going to be a big part of all of our businesses going forward anyways. So fun to chat about that. Now, we have Jon and Derek here from Trader John's. And for those of you who do know or maybe recognize these guys, they vend all around the country, have some really cool short form content, a great YouTube channel. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell us what you're all about, and maybe also like how you got started with your Pokemon business.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You want to start where we started? Like how we started?
Where and how we started. So, well, John and I met in college, but had no interest, at least like with Pokemon cards, or never talked about it with each other. It wasn't until like maybe like 2 or 3 years after I graduated, we completely like lived in separate areas.
Yeah.
So we didn't really see each other that often, but I got into cards. And it wasn't until maybe like another 6 months after that, I found out John was into cards. John was, collecting sealed high-end slabs, and
Yeah.
I was just, ripping packs, collecting singles. So two completely different experiences. But as I started to get more serious and learning about, what the market was like, buying at a percent, selling, going to card shows, I kind of had this realization that if we wanted to get the most out of it, being a vendor was probably the right move. And when I spoke to John, he was interested in as well. I think at the time we kind of decided we were both going to do it.
Yeah.
But
Not together
Yeah.
though.
we're just
Yeah.
both going to be vendors, but vend together.
Yeah.
And we were like discussing the logistics of how that was going to work. And then I feel like it just made more sense to do it together because we wanted to do it together.
Because at the time I had a full-time job as well. He had 2 part-time jobs, right?
Yeah.
So our time was pretty stretched thin. So it was good to have someone to rely on and just to talk to, throw ideas off of. I think what really got the ball rolling was I think we each went to our own card shows like individually, and we just saw the environment, and then we started watching people like Jake on YouTube, Dylan. I actually found the text of me sending both of your videos to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just looking at what you guys are doing, just wanted to emulate that success. So you guys are actually a big part of why we're here today.
I think the funny thing is a lot of people have comments about our name, Trader John's, and they ask like, why is my name not in it? So when we were talking on the phone about being vendors, John was like, what do you think my vendor name should be? And swear to God, I didn't even take 3 seconds to think about it. I was like, you should be Trader John. And he was like, wow, that's an incredible name. So then once we decided to do it together, I was like, I love the name. And I think the name and the brand is such an important part of the business that let's just roll with that. Like, I don't care that my name's not in it.
Technically it is Der.
Oh yeah, the Der.
Der and then John. So Trey, Der. That's why we make a joke with Trey that he's the third. The third
TraderJons. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Serendipity.
Yep.
So that's how we got the name. That's how we decided we were going to do it. And truly true to the TikTok series, the 10K to 100 bands thing that, a lot of people knew us for in the early days. That was how Trader John started. So we both agreed we were going to put together, 10,000. I think it was like a little more than like $10,600 or something like that.
Close to 11.
So we just agreed that's how much money we were going to pull together. Let's find a collection somewhere that's worth around that amount, and we'll just buy it together. And whatever we flip from there will from now on be Trader John's inventory. Yeah.
Very cool.
Within a couple days, John found something on Facebook Market that was exactly in the budget, and it was
amazing.
It was an amazing collection, but not that amazing of a deal. I think we paid like 83%. But it was every single alt art from Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon and X and Y promos.
Yep.
Wow.
I think Evo's guys some hits too.
Yeah. Oh, it had Moonbrand.
Yeah, it had Moonbrand. Be greater than Moonbrand.
It was
that was our
10.
first big 10.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, using that inventory, just decided to film it and make videos documenting the journey, and that's how everything started.
I love that. Very cool. I have 2 questions just to kind of expound before we get into other stuff, if that's okay with everybody.
Yep.
Number 1 is partnership, right? So like Ricky and I both operate our stuff pretty independently. Now, we may have temporary help, or in my case, I have full-time employees. Shout out to Jarvatar. But at the end of the day, like it's all owned by me. And so I don't really know what it's like to be in a partnership. And so obviously you guys have a pretty solid way of making things, equitable and paying yourselves fairly and all that kind of stuff. But I think even more than like the logistics of it, how does it feel to be in a partnership? Like, does it work well socially between you two? I mean, you were friends before you were business partners, and business can sometimes go sour, or there can be competing opinions and priorities.
Yeah.
How has it gone being a full partnership in this business?
I think it's been great. Each one of us, we excel at different things. So Derek is obviously the content director. So everything content, he has the vision for it, he executes. I help do everything on the business end. So like inventory, curating what we're buying, and then like the tax and just taking care of stuff in the back end. That's what I do.
I actually would say one of the biggest things that John does well is finding out basically like what our game plan is as Trader John's. What are signs that this type of product might be going up? What are signs that it's going down? How do we adjust our inventory this month, to prep for certain things either falling or growing in price? John has made like a lot of crazy decisions last year, like catching the gold star boom. John was telling me about the gold star boom before they even started growing like 50-60%, and
Wow.
gold stars grew like 400, 500, 600%. Yeah, so a lot of these big decisions is because Jon is spending so much time learning about the market and paying attention, and then deciding what we should do together.
I'm a Reddit browser, so I see a lot of stuff.
I am too,
Okay.
but I didn't crystal ball that. What was it that what jumped out to you before the gold star boom that told you, hey, there might be opportunity here?
It's just the scarcity of those cards in general, and it was being overlooked by the whole market. And I saw the way modern cards, if you remember, in the middle of last year, modern cards were going crazy. No one was caring about the vintage cards.
Yeah.
So I look at gold stars as like the grail of vintage cards, personally. So when I saw that part of the market being overlooked, I didn't think that we should skip past it. So I told Derek we should pick up every single gold star that we see, and we did.
Yeah,
I was
you picked
actually
up one for me. I remember we were in
yes,
Dallas
yeah.
in June,
Yep.
and you took my Charizard Gold Star
Yes.
PSA 9, and it like doubled in value. You
Yeah.
laughed in my face. It was great.
Dude, that trade was a win-win. You have to say it was a win-win.
I'm just playing. I'm just telling.
Yeah, I was honestly butting heads with him. I was like, no, I agree with you that they're a good idea, but I don't think we should be like forcing ourselves to get in these positions. And he's like, no, like trust me, like any opportunity we can get in, we should get it. It didn't matter if it was like a weird mid-grade, if it was BGS. Because we did picking up quite a few niche items, like a Vaporeon 9.5.
Groudon, Kyogre.
Yeah, Groudon 9.5s. And although they did take a little while longer to move, the growth was
there.
Was crazy.
Yeah.
So cool. So cool. So my second question, and then I don't know if Ricky has any before we move on to our program here, is the content strategy that you guys had was obviously there was so much good consistency there, but it's not every day that you can come across like a series or the theme of a series, like the 10K to 100 bands idea that can like leave the audience so excited for what happens next. So how, I mean, in theory, like it wasn't necessarily like an incredible production. It was mostly just kind of showing what you guys were doing and a little bit of B-roll from the shows, and then doing some math at the end. And it's like a really cool update. And so it didn't necessarily require you to have like, you know, incredible videography skills or anything like that. But how did you come up with that idea, and what could someone else, you know, what could other people who are trying to gain traction on social media learn from that series you did?
Cool. Great question. I guess we'll break it into two. How did I come up with it? I wish I had a better answer to tell you besides I just did it. Like we went to the deal, and in my head, when we went to the deal, the series did not exist in my head yet. It was just, we brought the phone and I was like, oh, it'd probably be a good idea to get some clips of what's going on here. And then once we got back home, I was, maybe I can make a video out of this. I was like, oh, the collection we bought was like $10,000. I feel like it'd be a pretty cool idea if we try to 10x this. So while I was just, you know, I probably need like a title somewhere, because, you know, I pieced together the videos first, then I do the dub over, then I do the captions and stuff. So in my head, I was like, turn 10K into 100 bands. That sounds pretty catchy to me. Just type that in. But, you know, like you said about like how the series came to be, it definitely evolved through the episodes. There's a huge difference between episode 1 and episode like 36 or
of course,
whatever, right? A combination of community feedback and then me learning what it took to make a good video, right? So that we just got, you know, through the experience of making them. Derek's
also a DJ. His DJ name's DKT. He was making content for that before this, so I feel like he was able to transfer those skills over.
Yeah, so there's some short form content experience and, you know, some Instagram experience. Very cool. But yeah, I think and it sounds like you would agree that like the main success factor of that series was that you just kept doing it, and that you kept documenting and posting the updates consistently. And I think that that's what some people kind of sleep on, is like, if you would have just posted a couple of those and, you know, the immediate audience reaction was all that you would go off of to decide if you wanted to complete the series, like you may have stopped, but you guys kept with it and told a whole complete story. And that's so cool.
Thanks. Yeah. Regarding your question about Wait, it was how could someone, I guess, also create a
Yeah,
what's it,
yeah. You know, how
exactly
could not necessarily like, you know, rip off your idea, but you know, do something that's their own, that's similar.
Yeah, okay. So when I think of social media, I think of it through two lenses. It's either one, you can be truly honest about not knowing something and you share your journey of learning with everyone else because people love, real stuff. People love like a real true experience because when we started, we didn't know anything.
No.
We literally didn't know anything. The second option is to come from a teaching perspective, someone that has already learned a lot, sharing with the world, right? So, two ways to go about it. If you're someone that's brand new, just trying to get into it, I would choose that, true organic route of, hey, I'm learning this day by day. If anyone wants to help me learn, this is the process I'm going through to try to achieve whatever my goals are, XYZ.
Yep.
But if you're already a seasoned veteran, then the second way of going about it is these are all the experiences that I've gathered through the years. This is what I want to share with you so you can have, right?
Have success.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So two completely different ways to go about it. And I think both can be successful.
People love transparency too. So if you can show them like a glimpse into your life, they're more likely to be like a follower of yours as well.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed completely. Thank you guys for that. Ricky, anything you wanted to ask before we press on?
I'll just add to that a couple things. One, I completely agree. I love that framing. And after the first few buyer POVs that I posted, my channel became like things I'm learning along the way. Like I posted a few like fairly not that interesting videos of how I was preparing for my first show. And it's literally just like all my cards. I had like the, the Viz Pro bulletin boards out on my guest bed. And I'm like putting cards there because I'm like, I don't know how else to visualize. Like, do I have enough? Do I have too much? And I'm literally filming my thought process through that. And then over time, like if you really get into it and you become knowledgeable, like you can also shift, like you can become the second thing, or you can start from the place of, I don't know anything and like just watch my journey and see how many times I screw it up. And then, a year and a half later, it might be, hey, we went from 10 to 100 bands and then beyond. And like, here's what we know now. Here's what we've learned from that journey. So you can all like, it's such a great framing. And then I'll also add that, Jake and I have started doing some of our like private coaching. And Jake, you've said a few times, like, imagine if this guy just like started filming themselves doing, and then it was exactly this kind of thing that Derek's talking about, like insert whatever part of the journey they're on. And it's like, dude, no, like there's so much opportunity out there. And like you said, people, I think the pendulum is swinging back to authenticity a lot in content over the last few years. Like we went very Mr. Beast and very PE firms acquired all the YouTube channels. And I think right now there's a lot of like just a grandma talking for 10 minutes in front of a camera, or Ern rambling in his car for 40 minutes, like unedited, just a cell phone, like maybe a microphone, maybe not. Like, that's that people are like craving that sort of like authenticity and relatability right now. So I couldn't agree more with everything.
I think you hit it right there. It's like what people can relate with. Like people might not be able to relate with Mr. Beast because he's a huge corporation now, but people like you and I, we're just everyday normal Joes. So they might be able to relate to us more.
Totally.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Jake. Well, let's kind of kick off the program. I like the intro, and maybe we stick with that for future.
Yeah, guests. I couldn't resist. Like these are some of the few guys that I haven't done a chomp cast with who I've wanted to, and so we did a little miniature one there for about 10 minutes.
I'm sure we'll circle back around to it, but as the chat, who's the chat, a lot of the chat's probably been with us or seen this program before. Our guests are not people typically that we interview, but they join as a co-host for the episode. They're one of the Machamps with me and Jake. So we're going to do the same thing we always do in terms of structuring it. So we're going to start with the traditional topics, a recent PC pickup or an item we have a connection to in our PC. We'll talk about a favorite recent deal. As always, we'll get into the tall grass, and then we will talk about our main topic, which is, can you start a Pokemon business in 2026? And as always, we'll leave some time at the end for Q&A. And you are always welcome in the chat to ask questions at any point. We'll mark them and we'll try to reference them at the end of the stream. And we usually leave enough time to answer a few. So you can ask them anytime, or you can wait till the end, whichever one works. We'll try to capture them as we go along.
Love it.
Sweet.
Who wants to kick it off with a PC pickup or just an item that you got a personal connection to?
We can do it. We had a really good year last year, so we wanted to celebrate at the end of the year. So we both took one slab, around the same value at the time.
Yeah, same value when we got
We
it.
got it.
John's has gained much more value than mine, but yes, it was the same value when we got
Yeah.
it.
So I got the Japanese lovebirds in 10. This
Nice.
is
I'll
one of
boost
my
that for you.
this
Yeah.
is one of my favorite cards of all time.
Beautiful.
I just love to look at it all day.
I love it.
And then Derek got his favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, so my favorite Pokemon is Mudkip, and it took me a while I've always been looking for a Mudkip card that really called out to me. When we got into Gold Stars, Gold Star Mudkip caught my eye, but there's just no way I was ever going to pay that insane premium on them until at LA Collecticon, someone offered to trade one in. So I did get myself a Gold Star Mudkip in a PSA 1.
It's super clean.
Yeah, it's actually pretty clean. There's actually no creases. So there's no big creases through the hollow or anything. There's just water damage that's visible on the back. But to me, it looks pretty damn good.
Very cool.
Nice.
Shout out Team Rocket Returns. That set is crazy.
It is.
So now I have to know, what is yours worth now, John, and what is yours worth right now?
I checked last night. This was 4,500 on Fanatics.
Whoa.
Yeah, and we got it for around 3,000.
Yeah, they were both 3,000 the
Yeah.
weekend we got it. This hasn't sold, not changed. But,
Priceless.
Yeah, priceless.
Yeah, exactly. No listings. It's $100,000.
Exactly. Name your price.
I'm not mentioning this because it's not a competition. I only have other than these, I only have 8 or 10 slabs in my PC. I'm much more of a binder guy.
Yeah.
One of those 10 is the Lovebirds in Japanese in a PSA 10. And I do love that card. I didn't remember or didn't clock if you had it. I have it in a rainbow graded guard, which goes really, really good with it. And I think I bought that over a year ago when it was I think I paid 1,600 something.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're up big, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And Jake was actually trying earlier today to separate me from something else in my PC that I'm also up 3 or 4x on, but another one of my few slabs. But I'm sort of attached to these slabs, so they're hard to wrestle away from my hands, even when they're up.
In our text thread, he's making me bid against myself. All the while I'm knowing that every step up I take is just more and more profit because his cost basis is dirt cheap. And so, it's he's waiting for me to say it's such an insane offer that he can't help but
of course
say yes, because he'll just replace it for cheaper the next day.
Well, so, no, come on. There's no way. The point is that there's no way. So it's the Pikachu stamp box in a black label.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I bought this for about 2K.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less than a year ago, and the sales have gone up into the 5s and 6s, and it's been pretty stable in that range.
Yeah.
I have the BGS 10 Cramorant, but I think the pop on the Cramorant for the black label is much lower. It's hard to come by.
It's 37, I happen to know.
Yeah, and the Pikachu's 300 something or something along those lines. So last I checked. So, so I've been sort of looking for that Cramorant, and I missed out on an eBay auction that went by. And so this is why Jake pinged me. He goes, "I've got the Cram." So
Maybe
actually,
it's right that you have one and I have one, and they never come together.
If only we had some sort of partnership.
If only we were friends, and work out a deal together on it.
I did say we were friends, and I said I would think about it, but I didn't leave you on red or anything. And the last offer you made was pretty reasonable. I think we're getting close. Your first offer was offensive. The low list is 10K. So that's the difference, is I can't just go and buy it less than you're going to buy it from me.
Low list 10K, pop 385.
Go ahead and buy it for 5.5K, man. Go ahead.
I will. I just put out a post on Insta.
I was going to say, you guys could do shared custody on the card. Someone just put in the chat too. Just send it back and forth to each other.
Yeah.
Great point. Every time we come together at Card Party, we'll just take a picture with them together.
Yep.
I don't hate that.
Anyways, I'll go next.
Sure.
Sweet.
Okay, so I've just been going crazy with these cool Dragonite cards that I've been buying. And I'm going to, I'll just show you guys first. So this right here, if I can get the light, there it is.
Bang.
Wow.
This is reverse hollow Dragonite number 9. It's a PSA 10 from Expedition. It's the only Dragonite in the E series. And Expedition is a complex set. So I'm gonna do a little bit of soapboxing here. Expedition has hollows, non-hollows, and then both of those variants of the card both have reverse hollows. So technically there's 4 distinct Dragonite cards in Expedition. Well, the reverse hollow has some comps, actually not like a few of them in the past 12 months for the reverse hollow in a 10. But it's the other one. It's the number 42 or 46 or whatever it is. So it's the reverse of the non-hollow. And those comps are in the 2,500 range, I think. And then this walked up to my table and someone, it was a vendor, was just trying to offload it because they got it in a trade that they were just really trying to cash out of. And so I just made a cash offer and said, hey, like I'll buy it for 1,600. And they were like, yeah, bet, let's do it. And I was like, okay. And then once I kind of got the card and started to look at like those distinct comps, I realized that this number 9 one, it's gotta be worth more than the number 42 or 46 one. And there aren't anywhere near as many comps for the number 9 reverse. So I'm thinking that I got a good deal on it.
I think you got a great deal on it.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Love
feel
it. And I love that
he'll
card. That art, that specific Dragonite card, I really love that guy.
Yeah, me too. I think it's
with the foot.
I love Dragonite because he's so powerful, but also like so whimsical.
100%.
And I fancy myself kind of like that, I'm kind of serious.
Wow.
I'm evil, but also I'm kind of sweet.
You're a whimsical guy, huh?
Yeah, whimsy.
He is.
You're evil, but also Coop.
Yeah, I'm evil Coop.
Makes sense.
All right, what you got, Ricky?
I was gonna share. I don't know how well this is gonna work. We'll try to solo me for a sec. My progress on my LC reverse binder. So this first page, not that impressive. We're starting to fill a few things out.
Yo, the Gengar is crazy.
Yeah, the Gengar I've had for a while. I cracked it out of a 7 like a year ago.
Oh,
I think I paid 600 or something at the time. It's in a video.
This
page is looking pretty good.
Oh yeah,
like getting there.
Snorlax is a big one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I just got that one. That was the most recent one, actually, along with a couple of the trainers in the back here.
The Psyduck's a big one.
Yeah.
I think he needs our Charmander.
Yeah, he needs our Charmander. We have a Charizard too, but it's pending trade. But
I actually have I think PSA 9 Charizard Legendary Reverse coming to me in a collection buy.
What?
Very soon here.
Are you going to crack it?
I do not plan to crack it. I will probably try to turn the money. I will try to turn my money into that Pokemon card into more money that I will spend the proceeds of toward the Charizard raw.
There you go.
It's classic Ricky deciding to do the math like that. It's yeah math.
It's total yeah math. Yeah.
It's a salesman in him.
Yeah, free collection, dude. that's the move. Yeah, that's what I tell my wife, family, friends, coworkers.
I love that.
Yeah, man.
Nice pickups, guys. We got some cool collection pieces going on.
Yeah, those are sick cards.
Yeah.
Good taste, everybody. Okay, next traditional topic is favorite or notable deal done recently, like ideally within the last couple weeks since the last stream. I can start. We can kind of, switch it up. For me, I recently, it's kind of one as a general theme. I recently started, actually, it's funny, you were talking about all the gold stars and the rare vintage stuff. Like I've always gravitated toward that stuff for the nostalgia of it being what I grew up on, but and never having had the rare, like the shinings and the gold stars and stuff growing up. So I've been picking a lot of that up lately with the kind of volatility in modern. So double hollow shinings, gold stars, low pops, things with swirls. And I've had a few deals recently that were above highest public comps on items that I wasn't aggressively trying to sell. I am not classically that guy. Like, this is an exciting thing for me because Jake's probably done this 1,000 times, but me selling things over comps is this is a new sensation for
He's the
me.
king of that.
The specific deal is a double hollow Neo Rev Houndoom PSA 8.
Wow.
And I sold it for about 2.5x what I got it for only a couple months ago. And I think I like traded into it and stuff. I'm pretty sure it came to me in a show. And it went to Houndoom Collector. So I love when a deal goes to a collector, and I love when I get some healthy margin like that. So I can, as we were just joking about, roll it into more cards.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so much subtle shade. I need a minute to recover. Can you guys go now?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
If anything,
we got you.
if anything, that is mostly a compliment.
It is. You can
The
get top.
ability
You
to
command
sell-
top dollar.
Exactly.
Get disrespected and get talked into how it should make me feel good. I love it.
Yeah, you can take some time to recover. I'll go next.
Yeah, thanks.
At Collecticon LA, was walking the floor to try to find a card that we really wanted to go home with, and we did find a guy with the Lovebirds in English. I think he had a sticker at 8.
This was San Antonio.
San Antonio. Oh,
Yeah.
you're so right. San Antonio. He had a sticker at I think like 8, and I kept revisiting him, trying to get him to come down a little bit lower. I wanted to pay like 74 or like 73, something like that. And he just kept saying no. And I dragged John. We both went to bother him together. And he's like, nah, I can't go that low. Bottom 75. So we separated again. And then right before the convention ended, there was like 30 minutes left. We dragged him back one more time. We went like, please, like, we need this card. We're so close to closing. I think the number he wanted 75. We wanted like 73. Offered him 73.50. He's like, nah, my bottom's 74. We didn't know how much we should keep coming up because at the time the last sale was like 76. So there wasn't much room there. But a buddy of his said, hey man, don't lose the deal over $50. I think you should close it. And he said, fine. Sold it to us for 73.50, and it ended up being a 9.5, 9.6K card. It was actually the very first card we sold in Hawaii. As soon as I got set up, my main goal for Hawaii was to pick up a Moonbryon because one of my best friends needed one. So this guy comes up to the booth. He's like, hey, are you taking a Moonbryon for a trade? Yes, I am. Absolutely. Yes, I am. He's like, perfect. I'm looking at the Lovebirds right there. I was like, this is the greatest. This is the greatest day. Thank God we went back to go bother him, and we didn't lose the deal over $50 because not only did we get the Moonbryon from my friend, but the cash out from the Lovebirds, helped cover the expense from the trip for us. So it was like just a perfect thing that lined up. And
he was also a returning customer from us.
Oh yeah,
first time meeting him.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's very cool.
Serendipity.
I have one too. It's the base set unlimited box that I sold at Collecticon LA.
Oof. We did make a YouTube video.
Yeah, we made a YouTube video about that. So this guy sold us a bunch of booster boxes before. He's a really nice guy. He's been collecting since like 2010. He actually bought that box from a card store I used to go to as a kid. He bought it for like $350.
Nice.
And we ended up buying it from him on Wednesday. I had to convince this guy first. He wasn't convinced completely. He said that
I was like, over $20,000 for a box?
Yeah.
Are we gonna sell that easily?
Yeah, he was like, we could use that money for other stuff. And I was like, but this is a base set box. It's really, really, really rare and scarce. A lot of people are gonna want it. So I took it to LA. Within walking it around an hour and a half, I had like 4 offers. So we ended up going with. Oh, actually, the funny part is, I saw my friend Pokey Dino. He's another vendor in the parking lot. From previous conversations, I know what kind of stuff he likes. So I just pulled up. We were in the car. We're like, "Hey, Dino, you know anyone that wants a base set box?" Actually, I do. So then the next day we went back to him. We ended up getting like 18 8K trade and 10K cash out of it.
Wow.
So we made a good amount off of it. But I think it just says how strong the high-end market is right now. Everyone wants it. Everyone's fighting over it. So if you can get your hands on any of that type of stuff, it's usually a good pickup.
Completely agree. And I'm sure we'll talk about this later on in the program, but like with all of the people last year who were involved in this business and the success that they experienced, now that they're into this year, they're going to be wanting to add high-end unique items to their collection because last year it didn't make sense. They were still building. They couldn't afford it. They never thought they'd be able to afford it.
Yep.
And now they all can, and they're more confident in buying it because they feel like they have a sales channel to sell it if they need to. I feel like we've all found ourselves at least a little bit in that situation between the four of us here. And I'm sure a lot of other people who are in this business feel the same. Very cool story. So mine is also very, very fun because I haven't decided if I'm keeping this item forever or just for a while. It might be forever.
All right.
PC pickup part 2, possibly.
Right. Yes. But so I was in Front Row San Diego. First of all, awesome show. If you're from the area or even just showed up at the show, thank you for showing up. It was very busy, so fun. We Trey and I had kind of discussed like maybe San Diego we don't do because it's a long drive from where we are, and we do prefer to drive to California shows because we can bring our display cases and stuff. But like it's like 11 hours. It's a long way all the way down there. Anyways, really great show. At the end of day 1, I was walking around. I kind of had a chance to peruse and see what was available on the floor. And my friends, the Sigma sellers, shout out Lee and Dom.
Love those guys.
They're
gas.
They had recently reacquired this exact copy of the silver Dialga.
Oh, wow.
That they had sold to someone, and then they really wanted to get it back. And so it's sitting there in their display case, no price. I think they had a sticker on it for 18K. And I saw it and I was like, this is a card that I have always loved. And obviously there's a lot of, social media content surrounding this card because it's a card that Pat Flynn I think he has 10 copies of it now on a PSA 10. And then, you just don't see him very often. It's like pop 50 something. And a lot of the copies, almost pretty much all of them are just locked up in long-term collections with people who do not need to cash out of them because of their financial situation. Anyways, I'm really picky about cards that I buy in this price range because I consider the possibility or even probability that these cards will sit in, and not sell, even if I'm trying to sell them for a good long time, possibly just because of how expensive they are. And because of that, if I'm going to buy a card like this, I want to personally like it and like the copy of it. Because there's a non-zero chance that I just hold it for a long time. Well, this is the first copy I've seen in person that I actually really thought was at least close enough to clean enough to deserve a PSA 10. Most of these copies are just totally shredded, XY full art, especially in Phantom Forces. Horrible print quality. The edges come out like just demolished from the rounding tool or whatever in the manufacturer. The back of this card looks nice and the front is immaculate. And despite it being a 2-cert, it's a really clean copy. A modern style label, which I actually care about.
Yeah.
Anyways, long story short, I talked them into bringing the card over to my table. And at my table, I had brought sealed Mario and Luigi poncho boxes.
Ooh.
And they're like, oh, well, maybe we trade into one of those. And I was like, well, why don't we trade into the Luigi? Because I have 2 of them. And so you can get the Luigi, I can get the Dialga, and I'll still have a set of both Mario and Luigi. And so we worked out a deal. They got the Luigi box. They got a couple of tag team slabs and some cash on top so that
That's
number
nice.
that they felt was fair. And then I was comfortable with a number close to their number because there was an active auction that was still happening that day and would end the following day on Fanatics. Well, long story short about that, we close the deal. I get the copy. And then that auction closes at $19,200.
Wow.
And so like both of us, both sides did really well on the deal. We both had good numbers on the item. And I now am the owner of one of these silver Dialgas. So I'm very pleased with it. It's a card I've wanted to own for a long, long time.
I don't think you should let it go.
I don't think so either. I think, and maybe this is pumping my own bags and who cares? I think it's a $50K card based on, not necessarily right this moment, but based on how in demand it is from people who, $20,000 is a rounding error. I think it's a really strong card long term.
Can we take a look at it again?
Yes. I'll try to get the light on it.
Oh yeah.
Wow. What a piece.
Isn't it striking?
It's so cool.
So I love Dialga. He's my favorite legendary.
Really?
Diamond version was the first Pokemon game I ever bought for myself. And I went to Target as like a 12-year-old or whatever and bought a DS Lite and Diamond version with some Christmas money and played through that game. I love Gen 4. Dialga is not necessarily like the most competitively viable because of his steel type, but like super tough. He has a move called Roar of Time that is like 100 power dragon attack. So tough. I'm a huge fan. And so this is obviously the quintessential Dialga card.
Nice.
Very cool.
You were getting Derek knows ball. It sounds like he said 140 power.
Yes.
There you go. You got checked.
Derek, you are him.
Love it, man. Congrats, dude. That's a fun story
card.
and a very definitely awesome piece in the collection or inventory. It sounds like it's going to be in your collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does. All right. Where should we venture next, Jake?
I think we leave the Pokemon Center, walk out of Celadon City, battle the Snorlax, battle the biker gang, go south on Cycling Road, and then into a little patch of tall grass.
Let's get into the tall grass, man. You never know what we're going to find. You never know what we're going to find. I think our first topic, I've got a few things.
Our first what?
Our first Hitmon topic. Sorry. Oh my God. Sorry. I
didn't understand you for a second.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I'm embarrassed. Hitmon topic is the this market bounce and recovery since October, November into late December and how things are feeling now. And the things I want to showcase here are some things that Z&G Emporium were posting just because they see a ton of sell-through as a consignment business. So they have sort of first-party data basically on how things are going. Is it going down? Is it bearish? Are people bidding up on auctions? Are they buying buy it nows quickly? They said bins are selling through much quicker. Auction prices have stabilized. They said new records for some of these vintage cards, which I think we're going to probably talk about some of these rare vintage cards a couple of times throughout today's stream. We've already talked about it a few times. And then ponchos also, after somewhat maybe notoriously being in a bit of a lull, coming back as well here. So what are our thoughts on this this market bounce and recovery? And obviously these aren't the only signals. Like I'm curious from the Trader John's guys, what they're seeing on streams. Jake, obviously, like all of us are at shows. What are our thoughts on this this bounce or this recovery?
I think it's here to stay. And I think it's really tied to the golden auctions that are going on right now. You guys talked about that last time a little bit, but
yeah.
I think it currently in the hobby, people are willing to pay up for pieces that you can't find anywhere else. But then for like singles and like modern stuff that you can find more abundantly, those prices aren't really going up yet. So it could be like a good opportunity for the rest of the year to start buying singles, in my opinion. But I do think the vintage market is going to continue being stronger.
I love that take, and I completely agree. I also, in preparation for the stream today, I watched both, two of Z&G's YouTube videos. So he has a YouTube channel, and kind of goes through like seasons of posting. And he had taken a break for a while and then started posting again about a week ago, or maybe two. And I watched the last few videos, and most of them are just kind of like monologues about, wow, what's going on with this market kind of thing. And this sell through of the buy it nows, I think, is the most fascinating piece, because they typically had a lot of ponchos on buy it now at pretty much market price, pretty much like, high auction price that just, sit on their site. And those all sold through PSA, CGC, whatever, all in like 24 hours. All the Rayquazas, all the Gyarados, all the Marios. And he said the other day, or maybe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, a video, he says it's the first time in many years that they don't have any of those in stock.
Yeah.
And that's fascinating to me, and shows that it shows me that there is so much confidence that people are just going to go and drop that kind of cash and clear them out, because once those copies are off the market, then the only thing left on the market is going to be active auctions, and then extremely high, stratospheric listings from people who don't really want to sell their item. And once that happens, it opens up the playing field on all of these extremely desirable / lower pop items to be sold privately for way higher. Way higher. And for the asking price. Like, we just had this funny argument just now about this Black Label stamp box. It's been selling for $5.5, $6, $5.5, $6K. And then the last two people I've talked to, obviously excluding Ricky because he lives on planet Earth, they're like, oh yeah, I want $9,000 for it. I'm like, what are you talking about? And what am I going to say? Like, there's no listings below that. I got to go out and find one that's cheaper. So that's the environment that we're in. And the fact that it's 3 weeks into January, and the market traditionally tends to warm up and up and up into February, March, and April, and tax returns, and people get a little more cash flush and all these kinds of things. We might be seeing all-time highs just month after month for the next 4 or 5 months on a lot of these big cards.
I agree.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do think it can be difficult to address the market as a whole when it can very clearly be divided into sectors of, modern, vintage, slabs, sealed. But if you are to think about it as a whole, the way that I guess I'm envisioning it is the market is only as healthy as the amount of people interested in it, right? I do think it's perfectly normal for the market as a whole to grow slowly over time. But, for example, last year when things started going crazy and prices started going up and up and up, the higher the prices are, the less people there are that can participate in it, right? Which is why I think at the end of last year, the last couple months, we saw a pretty heavy decline of everything pulling back, which is, in my eyes, reverting it back to this healthy zone where more people can participate again, right? It's like when all the new sets are coming out, everyone knows when new sets come out, like the cards are at its most expensive and they slowly come down. So in my eyes, it's a combination of the modern stuff coming down, the slabs coming down, Sword and Shield coming down, and now with vintage showing how strong the grails are and how strong the market is as a whole, now everything is slowly starting to follow again. And the people that couldn't participate due to the high prices, everyone's coming back now and is slowly starting to build it up again.
Yeah. I'll add just a caveat here. Like what I mentioned earlier about there just being this whole new layer of people who have not only the bankroll, but the pokey confidence to spend higher amounts of money. Like last year created more, 100,000 Pokemon collection people than any year in history.
Yeah.
And those people, you know, when some of them liquidate or trade out or you know, decide to put more money into it, they're probably not just going to be buying some of the things that everyone else has because they want something more unique, something that speaks to them, something that they're more proud of. And this was a word that I heard on a live stream recently where they were talking a little bit about this topic. Collectors like to buy things that they're proud of. And why would you be proud of something? Well, because you feel like if you tell other people that you have it, then they're going to do the O face and be like, whoa, like, I can't believe that you bought that or that you own that or that kind of thing. And more people exist now that have the bankroll and the confidence in the market to buy cards like that than ever before. And so, yeah, like this pokey confidence at an all-time high these days. And I would say pokey confidence is a leading indicator of where the market is headed.
I agree. Yeah.
Love it.
For me, I started buying up the ponchos for our inventory recently because our friend that does buybacks in Japan was showing us all these buybacks where they're higher than the market price here. So in my opinion, if there's a market to sell it somewhere else for that price, it probably means it's undervalued here. So that's why I was buying up the ponchos here. I bought the Black Ray, Skull, and we traded a couple of them out already.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Love it. Nice. Good takes. There's a question here from A1 Auto. Well, I just want to call out, will the vendor resale market ever get too oversaturated to where newbies have no chance? That we are going to talk to oblivion in our main topic today. It's like basically the main topic today. So stick around for another half hour or so. We'll get there. Let's move on to our next Hitmon topic here, which is perfect order. And I think, Jake, your brother made a little vidya on this.
He did. Shout out Jarvatar Cards.
Yeah, but like perfect order, right? We're getting the leaks from Japan on this. And people are already kind of calling it a flop. And so I guess like, is it a flop?
Is it a flop? Well, how do you define flop? I mean, I think a set can have some really great cards and not be the most popular set. Like, you know, Shrouded Fable, I think, has some really cool cards. It doesn't have any mega top chases. I guess by definition, does that make it a bad set? Maybe by some people's terms.
I actually really like it.
I like
cards in there really
too.
cute.
I like this Esper, a sleeping guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Dene is
Barry for Franny. You better believe it.
Oh, yeah. I need that. All right, I need this whole page.
Yeah.
Oh, I need this whole page too.
This Doublade is tough.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's tough.
That guy's tough.
Wow.
For sure, that guy's tough. I mean, we got the Starmie with the legs.
Starmie is goated.
Patrick Star.
Patrick Star.
This is like Godzilla Starmie. It's so sick.
It is.
It is. It's so interesting, right? Like Jake, you and I, we talked about the mega leak like 10 streams ago, because someone had like data mined the Pokemon games, and they had or something like that. Like someone had tweeted a bunch of verbal text descriptions, and someone like mocked up the designs for them, and they ended up pretty close when the game was data mined, like before its release. And for a lot of them, we were like, what they do to our boy, you know, the Starmie is absurd. The Dragonite has these dumb wings on its head, and then they get the right artist and the right design on the card, and you're like, dude, that is Ascended Heroes Dragonite, Mega Dragonite is a beautiful card, right?
Yeah,
I think you posted, Jake, like, I'm going to be needing that.
I will be owning this. Yes,
I will be having that. That might be like, maybe that's like a black label sort of chase for Japanese or something like that. That card is so cool. And this, like, I was like, how are they going to make this absolutely outrageous Patrick Star like how are they going to make a cool hit for this guy? And then they do this, and like,
It's
really
a pretty
cool interpretation of Long Legs McGillicuddy over here.
Yeah,
I dig it. And here's the thing: if we're gonna come out and say that this set is gonna be a flop, this is a booster box set. It's being released, and we'll talk about it in a second. It's being released during a time when Pokemon is super behind on production. And like, you can't look me in the face and tell me that this set is worse than Stellar Crown.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely not.
for
And
sure.
so like
Yeah.
Stellar Crown is what? It's like still like a $250 box.
It's year three. It's crazy.
Yeah. So like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
The set's going to come out. MSRP is going to be the same, and there's almost no way it goes below $200 a box.
Yeah,
Maybe
whoever's
ever.
saying it's going under MSRP, I don't think we see that anytime this year.
Yeah.
We will
That's
not.
crazy. Plus, here's another thing. It's releasing essentially the same day as a lot of Ascended Heroes stuff, right? So like the pre-release for this is what like the beginning of February.
Mhm.
And Ascended Heroes is basically coming out at the end of January, but there's going to be nothing in stock.
This is the Ascended Heroes release wave schedule.
Okay, so let's just fold one of the topics I added onto this. So Ascended Heroes 2-pack blisters officially confirmed by many LGSs to be delayed. And so the only thing you're getting on January 30th is the 3-pack tech blister collection from Ascended. Like that's it. And so within a couple of weeks after that, Perfect Order comes out. If you can't get Ascended Heroes and you want to rip new Pokemon, you will rip Perfect Order.
Yep.
True.
Makes sense.
That's an interesting take. I'm with you. This just to go through the rest of the set and just solidify how much of a total flop this set is. First of all, this Clefairy's awesome. It kind of reminds me of like Kirby Air Riders a little bit.
That's incredible. That's actually incredible.
It looks cool. This I didn't even recognize. I think it's Mega Zygarde.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it is a tough, exciting looking card. Energetic card. I think this, I'm not a huge trainer cards guy. There's some nice, this one is sweet.
The Rosa is going to be $100 card, no doubt.
Yeah. Dude, that
people go
Pikachu
crazy
ice
for
beam
Rosa.
Yeah.
makes it so cute.
Yeah. This
That
Meowth
Meowth is insane.
This thing's classic. This thing is
the Meowth is giving Rocket Game Corner to the max.
Yes.
totally.
That's a must.
Yeah, this reminds me a little bit of like the Glico Man in Osaka. Like it looks like a Japanese
billboard. It does. Yes. Dude, that's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm with you guys, man. People were calling it, people just love to react to things, but like this set's not bad. Like I'm excited. And it was also the first thing since Prismatic that I personally caught the news from our Discord actually about, it's not even a paid notification Discord, just somebody posted like, hey, the queue's up. And I was like, all right, I'll pop in the queue. I've got like no meetings this morning. And they moved through the queue pretty quick. And a lot of people were able to check out. So I got whatever the max. What's that?
Did you get a pre-order in?
Yes, I did for the first time in like a year.
Scalping things at MSRP. I love it.
You know, I will probably open all of it. I might keep one of the PC ETBs and open the rest.
I love it.
So if that's how you scalp, then I am very good at scalping. I bought one thing at MSRP per year, and I open most of it. That's my scalping strategy.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, for sure, scalping.
Subscribe for more finance tips.
Subtle plug for our Discord if you want to join that. It's full free in the description, guys.
It is. It's a great community, man. I don't think I've seen any like weirdness at all. It's just people sharing tips about vending and things that they pulled in their collections. It's super wholesome. So maybe one of our mods, maybe Trey or someone, if you're in there, can drop the link, or we'll find it again later if you're not in that.
That's
Discord.
awesome.
You totally come join. Maybe sort of on this thread, we got some interesting little leaks here with and this is actually quite weird because I think we haven't seen the Japanese cards for whatever this corresponding set is yet. This is really, I can't remember the last time that since I've been back in the hobby that we saw something like this, but a set with CRI allegedly. We've got this Mega Greninja, Mega Floette, Crobat.
Wow. Actually,
you guys haven't seen this yet?
Seen that one? No.
The Jag Algae is dope, yeah.
Oh, the Chichino. Our stream's gonna love that.
And a couple of trainers. This AZ I thought was cool too.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, I mean, these look legit. I think I think the general consensus is like, yeah, these kind of look like they were stolen from a factory. They look real. So nothing, I don't think anything confirmed unless someone in the chat has some information that I don't have. But yeah, what do you all think of this CRI leak?
Dude, that Greninja is amazing. That's one of our favorite Pokemon. We have a Greninja binder of just the Twilight Masquerade cards in there.
Think how
This
many
is a
people are
cool
going
one.
to want to grade the
You might have to add that to
Twilight
it.
one next to
Low-key.
this one sequentially.
Oh man, yeah, that's so nice. I'm feeling that Crobat in the Chinchino.
Yeah.
The only thing with this one is I feel like this evolution line gets a lot of love from TCPI on cards, right? There's like a lot of modern arts of this.
There is. Yeah.
They each have 2 illustration rares from the regular set, then from Black Bolt White Flare. Yeah.
It's like that's kind of a lot. Like, you know, there's definitely some mons that aren't getting as much love. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's a lot to commentate on this other than just to say that this happened. But CRI, like any thoughts on what that's? So some people, okay, someone in the chat said maybe Chaos Ring.
Chaos Ring.
Kind of cool.
CRI. Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Cool.
I don't know when it would come out, right? Isn't it like relatively confirmed that the set after Perfect Order is
Emeralds?
Is Chest and Rivals? I like
Chest
that.
and Rivals.
Chestnut Rivals. Isn't it confirmed almost that the set after Perfect Order is going to be some sort of Emerald Rayquaza set?
Yeah. Oh, I actually just made a video about that today. Yes. According to the leaks, so far this year is following that that schedule. So maybe this is a part of the Emerald set, because this is definitely after Emerald is supposed to be the Ruby Sapphire set. So then that wouldn't make sense for Greninja to be a part of.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like it.
Cool. I heard Ninja Spinner or something was the Japanese corresponding.
That's what
set.
I saw too.
Yeah, which would make sense for Greninja, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it'll be Ninja Spinner and Emerald in Japanese, but then for us it'll all be in
one set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would be kind of huge if there was a Greninja and a Rayquaza chase in the same set.
That would.
Well, Evolving Skies had Umbreon and Rayquaza and Dragonite all in one set.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. Pokemon Company can do whatever they want, but I mean,
Yeah,
they can.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I like a Tremold Rayquaza from our friend Wind Waker. We got some good ones. Crimson Invasion, yeah, famous Yu-Gi-Oh set. Crimson Invasion. Our last Hitmon topic. So you and I, Jake, last stream, I think this was last stream, a few days out from this auction kicking off officially. And our official call was that when we both had the same sort of take here, which was when we were originally thinking about this, we're like, how could this possibly sell for more? Like Logan Paul was a unique buyer. 2020, 2021 was a unique time in the hobby. And then the more we thought about it, the more we were like, there's just no shot that this sells for less than what Logan bought it for.
Yeah.
And either just because of the more organic attention that's on it right now, the clout that winning this would bring. And as we've talked about, there's a lot of people out there with very deep pockets for whom even $6 million is a rounding error, or a few weeks of interest in the market or real estate returns or something.
Yep.
And or you can tinfoil hat and say the fix is in. It's the Paul brothers, and like there's already a buyer lined up. They know that someone has already raised their hand and said, whatever happens with the auction, I'm in for 9 mil. Like, so, like any of those things could be a possibility. But the bottom line is with the buyer's premium, it's at 6.3 million.
Wow.
I think it hits 8 digits.
Whoa, do you really?
I think so. I think it's going to hit 10.
I think this listing wins the award for worst title of all time.
Yeah.
It's rough.
If you type this into eBay, the AI would tell you this is a horrible title for your item. You should just consider changing it.
I'm
Logan
guessing it's
Paul
an
Gold.
SEO thing, because if you look up any combination of Logan Paul Pikachu Illustrator auction, the first thing that comes up on Google is the Golden Site, and it just says the auction. And so it's like, we know what you're looking for. We got you. So my guess is it's an SEO thing. By the way, it took me 9 clicks to find this listing. So their UI is, it could be better. I mean, it was like hard to actually find this. If I go back, it's like the thing it takes you to when you go to the auction looks like this. And then you click visit auction. And last time I did, it didn't even take you there. It takes you to a bunch of auctions. You have to click it again. It's 3 clicks. Anyway, that's beside the point. So we kind of alluded to this, right? We talked about this last stream. We kind of hinted at it here. So maybe we don't need to say too much unless the Trader John's guys have a new take here. I think safe to say that when this inevitably sells for quite a bit more than 6 million, and maybe if you guys are saying maybe 10 mil or something, Jake and I think landed at 7 to 8 was where I think we were on record last stream saying things along those lines. Whatever the case might be, probably a massive news event and tailwind, particularly for vintage and rare cards. That's my take. I mean, it's not a hot take. What do you guys think?
That's an inevitable take. I mean, go back one click to the general auction. There's got to be hundreds of items in there that are piggybacking on this media charge.
Yep.
That many of them will likely have all-time highs. Is that a first edition Charizard at the top?
Yeah.
It's already at 470 plus buyer's premium.
Yeah.
Okay, previous all-time highs on Fanatics is what? It was like 550 or something.
550.
There you go. It's already with buyer's premium all-time high.
Yeah.
So like all of these cards are probably going to experience all-time highs because of
their auctions usually command like a little premium as well, though.
Sure. I mean, I guess it's you pay.
John, that golden auctions command a premium
usually on their auctions.
I mean, I've seen yes, but I've also seen no. I've
actually
seen
the Gold Star Zards. You're right.
Yeah,
right,
our friend Mike got totally crushed sending in a 139. It was like 30% off of market or something.
Yeah. But the time that went up, that was when everything was coming down.
Yeah, it was a little too late.
Yeah, I think the timing was off on that. They should have thrown in 1 through 9 on this auction right here.
No, that would have been crazy.
That would be nice.
I'm sure it's a hoop to jump through to get included in this auction.
Yeah.
Oh,
seen better days.
What's that? Is that a shark bite?
I don't know, bro. It's it's a PSA 10 1/1 card that's about to sell for $6 to $10 million, Jake.
I bet you it shakes in the holder too. I bet you it just rattles around like a maraca.
What was that?
I think
bottom left.
I assume this is on the case. I don't think this bit is on the card, is it?
I don't know.
It's not. But apparently this card was a PSA 9 and it crossed to a 10.
Yes. I remember reading that.
I can see why now.
Yeah.
So that was I was just zooming in on that because our friend Blast Boost is like, yo, this ain't even a 10. Lovebug16 asked, how much is the chain itself valued at? Don't quote me on this. I did look this up because I was curious. I think it's surprisingly low percent, like relatively. It's like 100K or something. So it's not a huge part of the overall value here. Don't quote me on that, but I was surprised. It wasn't millions. It was some diamonds and gold. It was like 150.
Yeah, I think the bigger premium here is the fact that he's going to travel there to deliver to you himself and content farm you.
Right,
it's going to be awesome.
Talking on that exact point, I don't doubt that this auction itself is definitely going to set a record high. Like you guys said, at least 7, 8. John thinks maybe 10 million or more. I have a doubt that if it was sold again in the later years, that it would also do another high. I feel like part of the reason why it's selling for more now is because of Logan Paul and everything that's going on behind it. It's not inherently the value of the card in of itself. It's more so what's going on with the auction.
You get a free cameo on Netflix too.
So true. So true. It's definitely a huge media play. But then again, whatever it sells for, there's going to be headlines all across the country about Pokemon cards can sell for this number.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, what's the equivalent marketing cost to get that level of publicity? If you are somebody who wants to purchase publicity, it might be somewhere between $1 million or $2 million or inaccessible. Like, you know, not just anyone can get on the Netflix, you know, get a cameo on Netflix and get a bunch of articles written about them or whatever.
Sure.
So if you want to,
like
if you want to buy the attention,
commercial space on the Super Bowl or something.
That's what I'm about to say.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, that $3 million of the total value is just baked in there on like attention, the value of the attention.
Yeah.
It's wild. Wild. Okay. I think that wraps us up on our Hitmon topics, and we are at 1 hour and 10 minutes. So remember, Jake, when we were first starting this and we were figuring out like, how long should this stream be? And I was like, I don't know, like an hour, hour and a half. And you're like, bro, it's easily 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Like, can we just say 1.5 hours? Like, expect 1.5 hours. Like, you and I can just talk about Pokemon all day long. And then, you know, we add some awesome, smart guys to the mix. And yeah, I hope you guys don't have anywhere to be. I don't have hard to stop or anything on me.
Yeah,
we're good.
Ricky, I think the story there is that we both, all of us, just underestimated how much we like to hear ourselves talk. You know,
Speak for yourself, man.
Some more.
I will not. I will not speak only for myself.
I can be here all night.
Okay. Our next segment here in the tall grass is a clefumble. So in case anyone is unfamiliar, a clefumble is a recent memorable situation in which we thought we was being smart and then we was not smart. So we tried to make a play. It wasn't stonks. That's a clefumble. Who wants to start?
I guess we can. All right. It's not really what you just said. We didn't really make a play on it, but we wish we did.
It's more of like a lesson learned.
Yeah.
Great. That counts too, actually. Yeah. Missed opportunities are clefumbles as well.
Yeah. So this past weekend, actually, first edition Japanese Gold Star Rayquaza came to our table.
PSA 10.
PSA 10 came to our table. They were asking like what, 34 or 5?
He said his best offer was 34, and I offered him 34.5. The only reason why we didn't offer stronger was because, I mean, we were having a really good show, but at the time we didn't have a total count of our cash on hand.
Yeah. We definitely could have bought it though.
We could have, but so he ended up selling it to a guy that didn't have that great of an offer. I guess the biggest lesson learned on our end was instead of just trying to beat his current offer, I feel like if you really, really, truly care about the card, the simplest thing I could have done would have been, hey, what's your phone number? When you're done shopping this around, just come find us because we want it. And the lesson learned was the guy that ended up giving him the best offer was less than what we could have offered him.
Yeah.
And it was. Yeah, it was definitely a big regret of ours for not taking it more seriously and kind of just throwing him a number.
Friend of ours said it's worth like 50.
Yeah. That was a big mistake.
It was. But we learned.
I've been through a lot of those scenarios where but the thing is when you're at the table, you just don't necessarily, and in any negotiation, whether it's online, in person, whatever, you just don't necessarily know all of the facts and all of the people that they've already talked to.
Yeah.
A big factor that you will never know is how much stamina does this person have to keep getting more offers?
Yeah.
Because I have seen many, many times somebody saying, oh, I'm just trying to go around and get the best offer. But it turns out after 3 or 4 or 5 offers, they just take the offer of the next person, even if it's less than their best offer, because they just want to be done.
Yeah.
They just want to be done. Okay, I know my item's worth something like this number, and I'm gonna like I was at Hawaii PopCon, and a guy's walking around a PSA 9 Crystal Lugia. And he comes to my table. And he's like, hey, my best offer is 7,300. Can you beat that? And I was like, no, I don't think I can. He comes back to me an hour later. He's like, yeah, I sold all this stuff and cashed out. And I'm like, did you sell the Luca? And he's like, yeah, I sold it for 72. And I was like,
So you lied.
What happened? He was like, oh, it's just $100. I'm just like, he just ran out of stamina, you know?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
in good enough on the card that $100 didn't really matter. And he found somebody that was, you know, kind or helpful or bought other cards. And you know, there's a million things that could have happened. And so I totally know what you guys are going through. Here's a little vendor game for you guys, and maybe it'll work for you, but and not necessarily for you two, but for the chat. You guys know all this already. But one of my favorite things is when someone says that they're just walking around trying to get offers. I'm just like, I don't want to waste your time. I want to waste my time. Like, what's the get it done offer? Like, what's the number that you would hear right now? You take your money and walk out. And if they say the number and it's in your ballpark and you want the card, then maybe you can get a deal done right there. But yeah, there's almost nothing that irks me more than someone selling you an item and telling you that you have to tell them the price of their item. So tough. It's like, oh my goodness, like you're the one selling, like you tell me what you want. I'm not just gonna like waste everyone's breath, you know?
Yeah.
I think they just want, when people do that, they just want to like double confirm that it's actually worth that much.
Sure.
But I think yeah, I feel that too when people do that.
It's your job to decide what you want for it, and our job to tell you if it makes sense for us.
Yeah.
It's not our job to price your stuff.
Yep.
I heard a wild story at the last show I was vending that somebody walked in with a base set booster box. You guys sold yours, you said like 28K? Yeah. Or like total value. So yeah, that people were saying it's like 28 to 30K. And apparently someone walked in, essentially walked up to the first table, accepted 18K. Ooh. And then that person flipped it in the same show, like 2 hours later for 20, whatever it was, 26 or something. So
yeah.
And I, you know, immediately people were speculating, like, what was it, stolen? Was it fake? Like I don't know, it's gone now. Like it's like you guys like, you can't find it. Like it has already changed hands 3 times, and it's whoever bought it's problem now, I guess. But that just blew my mind, where it was like, wow, all the other vendors when I was standing around hearing the story was like, wow, that is lucky. Because like you were just wherever that guy beelined for in the venue, and he threw it down and you made an offer in cash and he said, all right. And so to Jake's point, like there could be a number of explanations. Let's say it's not stolen or fake. Maybe the guy's again, like maybe he has huge margin and he just doesn't care and the time's worth more to him, or he doesn't have the stamina at all to shop it around, or there could be a bunch of like weird little explanations like that. But it's such a good point about the stamina and finding ways, like you were saying, Derek, to not have somebody walk away if you actually are really serious about the deal.
Yeah.
That sounds so sketchy though.
It's super sketchy. I can't see that. If it had come to my table, I probably would have passed on it, despite hearing how it went for that vendor. Like it's just too weird.
Yeah, I would have asked too many questions. I would have asked so many questions that I talked myself out of the deal.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, if it is stolen or fake or whatever, it's that would be the right move, right? Like it'd be anyway.
The guy didn't have a receipt or anything with the box.
I don't know the details. I was at my table with Pokebro JT, who's in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Most of the day we were slammed, but because I have JT, who's awesome, I ran around for like 5 minutes trying to find. I was like, I got money burning a hole in my pocket. I need to go buy I was looking for a PSA 10 English low pop card with a swirl, and I did find one. I bought a Giovanni's Gary in like 5 minutes, but it was while I was walking around. One of the other vendors had walked up to one of the vendors I was talking to and told this story. So I don't know all the details of was there a receipt or whatever, or how many questions did that guy ask, but it changed hands again. And I don't know how the story ends, but I was like, that kind of unbelievable story.
Nice.
Incredible.
I would have bought it.
Jake, what's your Cliffumble?
Long story short, I was in Hawaii PopCon. I had a first edition Dark Charizard Holo from Rocket in a PSA 10, and like the couple days before maybe the show, it had this crazy high comp. Like it had been selling for like 8, 9, and then 10K with listings at 12K, and then it sold for 20.
Ooh.
But there were still, at that time that it sold, there were still listings for 12 or something, kind of fishy. And so I stickered mine at 12 because I didn't think the card was worth 20. Well, lo and behold, I traded it out as you know, part of a bigger deal that I did at the show. And then that was Saturday. Saturday night, it comps again for 20. And then at that time, once it comped again for 20, lowest list was like 25K.
Oh my goodness.
See.
Wow.
So I mean, again, for a card like that card's like pop 500.
Yeah.
For a card like that to go from 10 to 20, like 2 different comps, both, I'm pretty sure both were on Fanatics. It was just so fishy for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like it was worth 20 when I sold it, but somebody did. Either way, if I would have kept the card and maybe turns out those comps are legit and the market stays strong like that, just lost like 10 G's, guys.
Ouchie.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Oops.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a cliffumble.
That's a cliffumble.
Yeah. Mine is sort of similar to the Trader John's guys. Like it's a bit more of like a lesson. And Jake, I know you're gonna give me a hard time about this because I'm somewhat retreading old ground with this, but I just want to double down on like having gone through this exact thing, even though we just talked about it. So Jake had said in the previous stream, biggest cliffumble of 2025 was essentially not playing aggressively enough, like playing sort of a defensive game all year, playing it safe with inventory, stashing things away, and that there was more upside to be gathered. And you know, you were just trying to feel it out and be responsible as I was too. I'm basically just going to double down on that like at my recent shows, I basically just haven't been buying aggressively enough. Particularly, and you know, crystal ball, right? Hard to say when the market's going to bounce back or whatever. Like there's no way of knowing that. You always have the fear on that side of the table that you're going to spend $20,000 on a bunch of stuff and you'll never be able to sell it again. And the market's going to be really like bearish for 2 years and you're just going to be stuck. But I had my first show a little bit back in December and I bought like 15K of stuff right before that. I bought a couple collections and hadn't done a lot of selling recently. It was a couple months out from shows. So I was just feeling in that defensive posture of like, well, I'm like kind of low on liquidity. I'm kind of high on cards right now. So I'm not going to buy too much. And I still bought a little bit. Really cool binder that came by. I talked about that deal in a previous stream as well. At these 2 shows, not back-to-back weekends, but like a few weeks apart after with the holidays in between, I sold through literally 75% of the cards that I own as inventory. Wow. So, and I was not backfilling that fast enough. And related to that, at that second show, a vendor it was only their second time, so a much newer vendor came up to the table and at the end of it, and they're like, "Oh man, the show was great. The only thing is, like, I had spent what I felt like was a comfortable amount of money on all my inventory, and then I sold all my inventory, and I wasn't buying all day, so now I have no inventory." And you kind of have to like reset from zero, which is not you know, it's a decent problem to have. It means the show went well, but also it's like not a problem you never want to actually reset that low. So yeah, it's this whole thing of like, it only takes a good stream, a good story sale to sell through a huge percentage of what you have, and it's harder. And at a certain point, it really truly can become the bottleneck. It can be harder to buy $10,000 of good cards at a good price than it is to sell $10,000 of cards. So, you know, Jake said, what's that?
I said, no doubt.
Yeah. And it's a super counterintuitive thing to hear, because in everything else in life, every other experience you've had anywhere else in life, it is way easier to spend money on things than it is to recoup that money on that thing. It's so easy to go to Nordstrom and drop 10 grand on clothes. It's not that easy to sell $10,000 of clothes if you want to get the cash back. But this is a different beast right now. So Jake, you've used the term net seller and net buyer before, and that you have to be a net buyer in the long run to keep that snowball going. And I just want to reiterate that I, and anyone else who feels this way, needs to, while staying within our means, don't ruin your life to do this, but like, don't be so scared. Like that's basically what it comes down to. Is like I was scared. It's like internal talk, like not trusting my own ability to sell $10,000 of cards when I sold $30,000 on 2 Saturdays and was like, all right, I have $30,000 now. I need to spend on cards. So if you're vending and you're in an area where like you start building that confidence and consistent way of selling cards, like never stop buying good cards at good prices.
Yeah. We kind of experienced
Go
the
ahead,
same
sorry,
thing
Jon.
teams actually. Just being able to buy at the right percent and then being able to put it up on stream, because Whatnot also does take a percent. So we kind of do have to manage 2 inventories, and that inventory recently has been a little bit tougher to stock for us.
Yeah. But I would say also safer. Like
we're selling it right away.
We did take a big L a couple months ago when the market was not doing the best. We used to have a huge backstock of singles, like maybe a couple thousand cards that we would just have on deck so we could stream at any time. So you can imagine in 1 month when all the cards were coming down, that definitely hurt us a lot.
Yeah.
So yes, it is difficult for us to source in abundance now at the percentage that we need to secure a margin. But at the same time, it's safer for us because if we buy a lot one weekend, we sell it all the next week. That's best case scenario. Yeah.
Totally agree. The last thing I was just going to say is just like a sentiment thing, and maybe it's good intuition, or maybe it's just from being conditioned this way over the last couple of years. But when I leave a show, if I've sold tons of cool cards, but I haven't bought enough, like the little internal voice in me is like, that was not that good of a show.
Yeah.
And yet my wallet, my little money purse might be just like overflowing with dollar bills, but I'm like, what do I do with all this worthless paper? Like I need to buy cards.
I need cardboard. Cardboard better than paper.
Shiny cardboard or smelly, dirty bills,
Exactly.
I mean, the choice is obvious.
Yeah.
And
we got Dan in the chat. He's glimpsing into our souls and watching us live. Good to see you, Dan.
Jake, you've talked about the difference of running, like you run your streams typically sort of like a claim sale. So it's not quite like a Whatnot auction sort of situation. It's a little bit more like being at the table virtually.
Yes.
But one of the major differences there you've mentioned is that you're not buying and trading while you're doing that. You are exclusively reducing your inventory, which again, it's an amazing problem to have those supporters and to connect people to cards they want. And like, there's so much good stuff that comes with that, obviously. But like, I don't know, Trader John's guys, like, do you experience, like you're talking about managing 2 inventories, you can't backfill while you are streaming. Does that add that extra challenge to the sourcing bottleneck if you get remotely good at selling cards?
You want to talk on that?
I think yes and no. The bottleneck for our streaming inventory is different from the bottleneck from our show inventory, just because the stuff at the show inventory sits for a little bit longer.
And we do there's some slight overlap. Obviously, we're selling some similar cards, but for the most part, there is a distinct separation between the stuff that we auction off and the stuff that we bring to shows.
Yeah.
Because we used to bring singles of all ranges to the shows, but then we realized if you carry $5 cards and you carry, $100, $1,000 cards, that means all types of people that want these cards are going to come to the table. If you only carry more expensive cards, then people that only want that type of stuff will be there. So it's like we took binders away from our tables because people would be crowding the table looking at the binders, and if the table's crowded, we're not going to be able to make any deals for higher end items because no one wants to go to a crowded table. So that was also kind of how we shifted our vending inventory. Like anything under a certain threshold, we'll just throw it up all on a stream because we can sell it very quickly all together.
Also, it felt like we're doing more work selling the singles because we had to go back out and go buy the singles.
Yeah.
So we would rather just throw them on stream. So we have like specific cards for stream, and then we have specific cards for the case. Some overlap, but not much.
Yeah. it also is funny because sometimes I feel like our shows this year might be a little bit busy than last year, but when we look at, you know, our numbers, it feels like we definitely made the right decision to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of interesting stuff in there. Like there's one part of me that one thing that you said. So I am also, and I think Jake is also making the choice because of the opportunity cost of the time that it requires and the effort it requires, moving away from vending small binder cards. I'll still always have some stuff at the table to give to kids or like a $1 bin. I think I'll always cater to that.
Mhm.
And I love seeing people pick through the binder. I enjoy going through binders when I'm at shows as well. But it really just is the fact, I've probably said this in multiple streams recently, the comping out and negotiating a $5 card that you bought at 70%, so your margin is $1.20 or something, and
Yeah.
someone always wants the $5 card for $4 or the $6 card for $5.
Yeah.
And the time that all of that takes is almost exactly the same as the time it takes to comp a Moonbryon, right? Like you just it's the same process of you just pull up the most recent sales and take an average or whatever, look at market price. The only piece of it that like maybe I would personally push back on is that as you build a social media following, I don't know if I agree with the statement of nobody wants to like wait at a crowded table or go to a crowded table, because there is like an experience or an interaction that they're looking to have once once they enjoy your content. So I still agree with the premise around the optimization of having a crowded table, but like especially as you guys grow continue to grow your social media, you guys are doing an awesome job with it, and I want to talk about that very soon here. But I don't know, some people are absolutely happy to wait at a crowded table for the right interaction or the right deal.
Yeah, maybe that was like the wrong choice of words. I think we want to show the same type of items that we want to buy. It's like how some people show up to the convention and they don't people have like full cases full of high end, and then they're like, oh, we're actually not here to sell any of this. It's just to show you that we want to buy this stuff.
Yeah.
So the same thing comes with like, having the binders.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Signaling like we deal in this kind of thing. If you have this kind of thing, talk to us about it. That totally makes sense too. It's a great point.
Cool.
Okay, 1.5 hours in, and we're not on our main topic. We have one more in the tall grass. So someone, cardboard nerd in the chat, we have not covered this, but we are about to talk about it for like half an hour. Our last thing in the tall grass, maybe we just go quick on this, Jake. I think it's worth mentioning, but I don't know if we need to spend too long on it. A quick Gyarados of reality around dabbling in other TCGs and the hype around One Piece right now. Maybe as you go on that, I'm going to run to the restroom before we do our main topic, but that's our Gyarados of reality.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The purpose of the Gyarados of reality really is just not necessarily a warning, but just like tread lightly.
Yeah.
We like to give out what we feel like is maybe just some context for those who are a little newer to the space in this case. But yeah, I would just say there's a lot of hype around alternate TCGs, specifically a couple of them.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome that new or comparatively newer IPs are getting, get attention and have a fan base and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just be careful with where you're putting your money. I think that Pokemon in and of itself is very speculative, but at the same time, it does have 30 years of history, having a game, having an anime, having the video games, having a collector base, all that kind of stuff. And so I would say it's comparatively safer to some of these other ones. And so just be careful. And the amounts that some of these things are going up in value and the speed that they're going up in value.
Yeah. It feels very like 2020 Pokemon.
It does feel a little scary.
Yeah.
And I would just say, just put it, a caution out there that like, and I'm probably not the right person to make this comparison, but gosh, it sure looks like some sort of like altcoin.
Yeah.
A lot of these big cards are are like making enormous leaps. So
Yeah. Especially
anyways.
since printing One Piece doesn't have a track record of catering to like collectors. Like they only cater to players. So that's why they'll reprint cards as many times as they want.
Yeah.
Right now they need more reprints, but I'm talking about in the future. It could eventually burn you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the Pokemon company, like they've been through this for 30 years. And another company, I mean, Hasbro with Magic has been through learning lessons around print quantity and different market cycles for many, many years and still makes mistakes. They both of the kind of longer term players make mistakes here and cause, enormous market shifts. And so again, just be cautious out there and always be careful when you are paying the highest for a card in that card's history. That's always a little scary.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, you gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's
Like
very
that-
speculative.
Yeah,
And some people,
It is.
some people are talented and successful with speculations.
yeah.
But not everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can easily get burned.
There's a lot to learn about, the various different TCGs. I think the reason why people trust Pokemon so much is, like you guys said, the history. There's evidence to prove that, a lot of people believe that these cards are worth what they should be. And, when the prices dip, scoop them up, right? It does feel, I don't know if safer is the right word, but it feels stronger.
Secure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Would you guys ever explore into any other TCGs?
No.
No.
No, also. I think I don't want to speak for Jake, but I'm going to guess that he would say something so similar to what I would say, which is basically like, I do this the way that I do it with Pokemon specifically because I like Pokemon as an IP, as a collectible card game. The Dragon Balls are cool. Like they're, I've seen they're cool looking. They're cool looking.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I get the appeal of the One Piece cards. Those, that IP doesn't mean anything to me. I don't have personal history with it. Without the passion, it's the same reason I don't get like sports cards. I don't follow sports closely enough, and I don't understand how it works. And I don't have passion for it. Doing what I do with Pokemon just virtually never feels like work because I like Pokemon and Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
That's all for that.
Our answer's the same, except we like Riftbound because we play League till 6 a.m. every morning.
There you go. But you have an actual connection to that IP, right? Like, it's the same reason that like I don't have a connection to Magic the Gathering, but when they do some of these collabs like Avatar: The Last Airbender, I have a connection to Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I haven't actually done any of that stuff yet, but like, like will I sometime this year own a couple, whatever, the collector's box, or I don't even really know what they're called, but like some of the Avatar stuff from Magic, like, sure. It's not because I love Magic. I mean, it's great that it's Magic. It's a proven history card game from, a company that's been doing card games for a long time. But yeah, like I just collect things that I like and am passionate about. It's much easier for me to learn and understand what I'm buying into or what I'm collecting when I am actually excited about it.
Yeah. It's like if we started selling One Piece, I think it'd be the same thing as selling shoes. Like I just don't know or love or care about it. But, so why would we do it? Right? We don't sell Pokemon because it makes money. It's awesome that it does, but we are into Pokemon cards because we love Pokemon cards. We grew up the games, we watch the shows, right? There's a lot that we love about it as a whole, which makes, dealing with it in a business just makes sense.
Love it.
Anything you want to add, Jake, or is that a perfect transition? Okay.
Let's dive in.
Okay. Well, a couple of Poke Nerds talking about getting into the business here, and that is the perfect transition to our main topic of the day. Can you start a Pokemon business in 2026? And we have had a few people in the chat. I'm sure they saw the title of the video. But, we had questions like, how do I get started? I'm only 14. Like, can you give me some advice? Will the market ever get too saturated and newbies can't get in? Is it too saturated? So let's talk about it. Is it too late to start?
I feel like I have so much to say about it. I don't know where to start, actually. Is it too late to start?
Welcome to the Midweek Machamps.
Is it too late to start? Definitely not. Definitely not. I think there are so many different ways to, as a vendor, whether you're a small vendor, a big one, you only want to do singles, you only want to sell sealed, you want to set up at shows, you don't even have to set up at shows. I think the number one thing is to figure out how you want to go about it. And I guess let's start if you have like a small cash pool, right? If you just want to go to shows and be a vendor and do singles, I think as long as you have an understanding that as a vendor, you are there to provide a service. Two main things. One, you buy cards that people are trying to get rid of, and then you sell them to people that want them. It sounds super obvious, right? And with singles itself, modern singles, they're popular and they're not that expensive. And as addressing the 14-year-old that had the question, can you be successful? You absolutely can. But it also depends on what your definition of being successful is. If you're selling singles every other weekend at a local show, you might not make hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you can definitely grow the value of your collection and build relationships with people and still have an overall, good time. I feel like there's just different tiers to it, and depending on your buying power or what kind of stuff you want to sell, there's so many ways you could go about it.
There's a lot of profit. You just kind of have to learn, and the only way to learn is by being at the show and meeting people.
Yeah. I think the question, is it too late to start, is born from a place of, I see all these other people who have surpassed what they used to be doing or used to be able to do, or, their collection has grown so much, or their social media presence has grown so much. Well, my collection / social media presence / whatever has not changed. And, not necessarily because I've been really working at it and failed, but just because I've not really been other things, working full-time job, or, actually having weekends where you can do stuff that you want to do besides being at a show on the other side of the country every single weekend. And the truth is that, is it too late to have somebody else's journey in this hobby? Yes. Yeah. There's no world in which you're going to walk the same steps as myself or Ricky or Trader John's or anybody else, because we're different people and we have different lives. But it's not too late for you to start your own journey that is similar in that, it could be in the same industry, and you could, learn some of the same lessons that we've had to learn. But the market is growing. It is the 30th anniversary year of Pokemon. The company is just really coming into their own on how to create artwork that captures attention. There has never been more social media and attention on this industry, on reselling, on collecting, asset holding, on all of those things put together. It's just, there's people there are, including many of the people that are listening right now, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that are consuming content about these topics every day, every single day. Every day they turn on YouTube and or open Instagram or whatever, and they're scrolling through reels of Pokemon deals, of Pokemon collecting content, of investing in appreciation in Pokemon. It's at a fever pitch, and just ride the wave, in my opinion. It is not too late. You can start now and you will ride a wave. And if you work hard, a year from now, inevitably a year from now, there will be people that we invite onto this podcast that did not have a business as of the recording of this podcast.
Definitely.
That is true. And will you be one of them? That's really the question.
Yeah, well said. And I'm kind of thinking of this thought experiment as you guys were talking. And I'm going to say it about myself, but it's not about me being special. I'm curious what you guys think about yourselves. but I just want to like make this point. I think if I like Men in Blacked all of my memory, all the knowledge I have about Pokemon now, and I went to a card show for the first time this weekend, just like I did 2 years ago now, and I followed the exact same step, same order, and made all the exact same moves I did. The two biggest things that would be different would be the timing in the market's a little different. So the prices of things now would be different. And I'd have to like adapt to that reality of right now. That wasn't the case when I got in Feb 2024. And then the other thing that would be different is I probably wouldn't be the co-host of this podcast because my timing wouldn't line up for when Jake was on that part of his journey and wanted to make a podcast and wanted a co-host for it, or wanted to do a live stream and to have a co-host for it. And so I think the point I want to make though is like, almost everything else. So I think would like, I could get to the same place in about the same amount of time, tracing almost the exact same steps, just adapting them for the current reality. And just a few things would be different about my timing. I'm curious if you guys feel that way, and particularly maybe like, I mean, I'm interested in all you guys, but like the Trader John's guys, you guys started posting long form videos like 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like immediately started getting 20, 30,000 views per video, most videos, and have 11,000 plus followers. I know you were doing some short form stuff before that,
Yeah.
but when people are in the chat asking, is the YouTube too saturated? Is vending too saturated? Like, I personally think I could do the exact same thing I just did and end up in a very similar place. What do you guys think for yourselves?
I think absolutely. I think what people need to understand is we didn't get to where we were overnight, right? Like, I know the Trader John's journey has been relatively short compared to some other vendors, but everything that we did, both on the social media end and how we approach vending, was a constant evolution. It's just, you need to learn what's working right now. And, you know, it might not always work, and you constantly need to change. You know, like the first 3 months of Trader John's, we didn't even go to major shows. We went to local shows. And then we didn't start streaming until January 2025. Streaming slowly started ramping up. It was like we did it once every week, once every 2 weeks. And then once it started picking up a lot, we changed to twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. But that didn't last forever either. You know, once the market started cooling off, you know, auctions kind of started not going as crazy. We also had to learn to dial that back and then look into the next thing, right? Mm-hmm. The market as a whole is constantly evolving. And I feel like to make the most of it, your business practices also need to be constantly evolving. And we can also apply that to our content. I didn't just one day make a TikTok and you went viral on my first day, but you learn lessons the more you do things. And the lessons that we learn are probably going to be different than the lessons that you learned. Because like Jake said, your journey's different. You're starting at a different time in a different place than when we were. But the only way for you to learn and get the ball rolling is to start. A lot of people DM us and say, I want to start vending. I want to start making content. Any tips? You'll actually get all the tips you need from starting.
Yeah.
I can't share exactly what you need to be successful because it's different than what we needed. And we only figured out what we needed through going through the motions.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's too saturated either because like everyone is different. Like for example, we're partners. There aren't many different partners on the scene. Like your persona can shape what your YouTube channel or your social media can go, like what direction it's going. So just being yourself and just letting that guide the way for your channel, I think that just sets you apart automatically.
I guess also when it comes to making content, being yourself is like a kind of generic tip that I guess is it's true, but it's also, you know, someone needs to figure out how to be themselves, right? There's a big difference between making videos every day, I guess showcasing what you do versus people that have opening 1 pack every day, right? Like you kind of have to ask yourself, why would someone want to watch me? Why would someone want to follow my journey? And what do I have to offer them? What value can I provide to these people? And I think once you answer these questions, you know, making good content is actually not that difficult. You just need to learn to ask the right questions.
Yeah. I think a good question to ask yourself when you're talking about a video, for example, that you would make is, would I watch this? And if you're someone who's consuming content around Pokemon cards, you probably do see a lot of pack openings. And And so what is going to set it apart? Well, you got DPM doing lots of really catchy things with high-end stuff. You've got people doing really interesting, like artistic cinematography around pack openings and stuff.
ASMR.
Sure, ASMR.
Yeah.
All sorts of other things down that rabbit hole, of course. But what no one is doing is walking your journey. And like you guys, like the 10K to 100 bands, someone could literally rip that idea off with almost an identical name, and their series would go in a totally different direction.
Yeah.
And people would watch if they were consistent, and like you guys, obviously you refined your video making skills and all that kind of stuff. And so the videos at the end, I'm sure you're much more proud of than maybe the ones at the beginning from like a quality standpoint.
Right.
But it just comes down to documenting what you're up to. And I think that some people maybe what they're afraid of is being bad at something. What they're afraid of is being a beginner at something, and and appearing and consuming content from people who maybe are a few years ahead of them and thinking, oh, I'm not like them right now, and so I don't deserve to start at all. And that's where that word imposter syndrome, or that term imposter syndrome, comes into play. It's like, I'm going to vend, but I'm not like a vendor because I don't do big deals like the Bulbasaur. Like that is, I think, inherently something that keeps people back. But all of us, like if we looked back on our own timelines, like I did this just the other day, like I scrolled all the way to the bottom of my Instagram, and I think my first post was sometime in 2022. It's grainy. It's chunky. It's chunky down there. It's not necessarily something that would get very many likes or very many views. Right. And so, but what it is me, it was cool cards that I had opened out of packs. It was me writing a caption about the situation I was in when I got the item, or showing off a piece of collection and why I care about it and all that kind of stuff. Like, it was me. And so it didn't feel like I was failing because I was only just trying to be me. And if you can approach it in that way with the discipline to be consistent and to be introspective enough to get better time over time, then your success is almost inevitable. It may not be as, stratospheric or as quick as other people if you were to compare all the numbers on a piece of paper. But then again, like, you don't have their life. I was actually super intrigued by something that Ricky said on one of our consultation calls recently. He says some people start the race in the parking lot. Some people start the race at the start line. Some people start the race at the finish line. Some people start the race already at the after party. Like, we're all in different situations, financially, socially, with our health, with our free time, blah, 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 all different. But no one is exactly in your situation. And that's where you should be focusing.
Oh, there's so many. We could have this conversation for hours. Somebody said something in the chat that I think is related to this, and so I'm going to pick on them a little bit, but with a lot of love, because they're here live in the chat. So I know that they're one of us, one of the tribe. But this comment, it takes a ton of money to start. I just couldn't disagree more with a statement like that. Of course, starting at the finish line, having $10 million and then going, oh, I'm kind of interested in Pokemon. I'll just dump $1 million into Pokemon and see how it goes and turn that into $2 million in a year. Wow, it's so easy to make $1 million in Pokemon. Of course, sure. Helps to have the capital and the time and whatever. I know so many people. There's somebody else said this. This guy's relatively local to me. What's up, Jake? His name is also Jake. Started from zero as 2 broke college students.
Nice.
I know one of my closest vendor friends told me the other day he started with $100 and never added another penny of his personal finances back into it. And he is currently semi-retired. I mean, he lives with his girlfriend who, they split a mortgage, but like he just vends. All he does right now is vend. He quit his job few months ago. He mostly does just West Coast shows. And he's awesome in so many ways. He has talents that I don't have. But it's not that wild. He doesn't have a huge content following. He probably has like 1,000 followers on Instagram. He's a great networker, a really fun guy, and he has great taste and a great read on the market. And he's passionate about multiple TCGs. So he's like very authentically able to play and sports and Pokemon and all that. And it's like very true to him. He started with $100. I know a bunch of there's so many teenagers right now. Somebody said 14 in the chat. So many 16, 17, so many like sophomore, juniors in high school that I'm looking at them thinking, these guys might not go to college. And I don't know if ultimately they will need to. I'm not saying like, get out of like stay in school kids and all, but like these guys often started also with $0 or $1,000 from their parents or some allowance money or some gift money. He's saved $500 up from Christmas and started their business that way and never put a personal dollar back in. So of course it's easier to start with $10 million, but this is a self-limiting belief.
Yeah.
This is a lie you tell yourself as to why you can't start, because other people, the only reason they're successful is because they started with money. And so I couldn't possibly replicate it, and it's not even worth it. And the way they did it is not noble.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what this person is saying, but this is the way that people look at these things, right? It's like very human and natural. It is a self-limiting belief. It is a lie. And there are prioritization reasons. You might have to work 2 jobs and have a sick parent and 2 young kids. And that's the best excuse in the world for why you might not have time to vend every weekend at card shows or spend $10,000 on Pokemon cards. Yeah. But like, just check yourself if you are lying to yourself about it's too late to start.
Yeah. At the same time, I do want to say, like, start within your means. Like, just do what makes sense for you. So if that's $1,000 of inventory and like paying for $100 table, starting there is perfectly fine as long as it makes sense for your situation. So for me and Derek, it made sense for us to go in together on a 10K binder, because if we failed, we have some really nice cards that we both like anyways. So do whatever makes sense for you. Just because it makes sense for you doesn't make sense for a different person.
Amen. What's the next thing that we were considering? Oh, saturation.
I just want to shout out DJ our friend. I'm sure it's Steven. What's up, man?
Thanks. Yes, we've had a lot of super chats. Should we just check in on the super chats before we move on?
Yeah, absolutely. Wind Waker at the beginning, Midweek Hedge Funders.
That's us.
Our friends at DGen. Hello, my favorite people. Love you guys. We love you back.
Shout out DGen. Shout out DGen for giving Ricky just like 50% deals in our slab competition.
Jake, guess where I got a Black Label stamp box Pika from?
Next question. I'm probably paying $1,000 for it,
boys. This is one of our private mentorship clients. What's up, man? Hopefully you did. I spend your money wisely with us. Yeah, everyone can do it. Become what they want. You got to put time in it. Yeah, I mean, and obviously it's not always that simple, but yeah, I mean, that is a lot of what it comes down to. Love y'all. Okay, the next thing, saturation I think is great. Let's talk about saturation.
The question here really is: are there too many people in the space for me to be able to carve out a niche that would result in a successful business, or however I'm deeming success? And I think we all have different ways of answering this question, right? Because like we're all operating our business in multiple places. So we all have social media that we're trying to build, Instagram, YouTube, etc. I don't know if you guys are on TikTok much. I don't post there too often. So there's a question of, are there too many Pokemon content creators on the internet? There's a question of, are there too many people vending or trying to vend at card shows? There's a question of, are there too many people already streaming on streaming apps, for me to be able to get enough organic traffic to sell anything? There's questions about where exactly the saturation is coming from. And I think that we all have pretty similar answers to this, regardless of the venue of saturation. Maybe we kick it off with you guys, Trader John's, the boys, because I know you guys sell. Is it exclusively on Whatnot?
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's
for streaming, we
Yes.
sell on Instagram too.
Yeah, Instagram too.
okay, but streaming, yeah, you guys
Streaming's on
stream
Whatnot.
exclusively
Yeah.
on Whatnot. So, but when you guys got involved on there, when was your first stream there?
Last January.
Yeah, January like 15th or 20th, somewhere in the middle.
Almost
of the month.
exactly a year ago.
Exactly.
Oh, our Whatnot anniversary.
Whatnot anniversary. So on a year ago, I mean, when you did your first stream, did you guys have trepidation about there being other really big streamers on there that would
Oh yeah.
of
take
course.
away your foot traffic? And would you ever get anybody to buy anything from you?
Yeah, we were scared. I was nervous.
Yeah. I think you should tell how we got into Whatnot first.
Sure. Well, I guess before we got into Whatnot, to answer the saturation question, are there too many people doing it? I do think yes, there are too many people doing it. But what there's not enough of is people that do it well. Okay, you got to think about you guys. Both of you, Bulbasaur, Pokestop, Will, Pack Battle. We used to watch all of you guys before we had 0 subscribers, right? I mean, we still built something from ourselves, right? People can already exist and achieve a certain level of success through the path that they follow. It doesn't mean it's impossible for you. Just because there's hundreds of thousands of people that want to do this and aren't doing it, doesn't mean that you can't do it yourself. Maybe do it better. So when it comes to streaming, right? We actually didn't stream at all. We knew nothing about the streaming world. Gary V shot us a DM because he watched the 10K to 100 band series. And he was like, oh, he sent one message, keep going. And now I was like, oh my God, John. I was like, John, Gary V DM'd us. He's like, what'd he say? I was like, he said, keep going. So then, I just, said a little thank you message back. And then it surprised me when he responded again. He said, anything I can do to help, let me know. So I said, whoa, anything he can do to help. I was like, John, I mean, we were still pretty in the early stages at the time. So yeah. I was like, John, I think I'm going to just type something back. I think I ended up saying, hey, thanks for the message and offering to help. We're still in the really early stages right now. I'm going to be honest. I don't really know what you could help us with. And his response was so simple, so beautiful. Whatnot. Go check it out. And I was like, well, I mean, we've heard of Whatnot.
Yeah.
We have friends that do Whatnot, but we don't really know much about it. So at the time, we actually had a similar problem that we talked about. Of we had so many of these $5 and under cards. And we're like, it doesn't make sense to bring it to the shows. There's so many of them. It takes up so much table space, only worth $5. But then John was like, it just makes sense to sell them on Whatnot. If they go under $5, it doesn't really matter because they're sitting in a corner anyways. If they go over $5, awesome. We made some money. So we took Gary V's advice, set up a Whatnot account, posted on our Instagram. Our Instagram wasn't huge at the time either.
10K followers.
Probably less. I think January, definitely.
Yeah.
January, I think, was around the time we hit 10K. So posted on Instagram, say, hey, we're gonna do a stream for the first time. I think we had 40 people, maybe 50 people. And it went well.
It did.
But I think at the time we did it because we didn't have a way to sell these cards. So it wasn't necessarily get as much money as possible. For us, it was a solution to bring liquidity to items that we were just stuck with.
Yeah.
And it ended up growing into something else. But that's exactly what I've been saying the whole stream. Is like, your business practices will change over time and you need to adapt to the changes, right? We used it as a liquidity solution and it ended up being a great avenue for us to sell a variety of items in large volume and be able to connect with, people that we might not be able to see at shows. They could just tap in, join online and get to talk to us there. So it's like a multifaceted solution.
Yeah. I love this story. I also want to harken it back to kind of our topic here, which is what exactly do you guys feel like you did that helped you steal market share, steal, eyes or add new eyes to that streaming platform so that you could have successful streams, right? Because if right this moment, there's got to be at least 10 or 20 big time streaming operations that are live on that streaming app right now who have hundreds of viewers and tons of bids and sales. How are you able to get any sort of traction when there's big players like that competing for attention?
I think like curating a great show. Like every time we go on, we put on great music. We're always talking, communicating with the chat. And then also, like when we started Whatnot, there wasn't a lot of like dollar start people back then. And we kind of took it a step further. Like we would rapid fire cards. We still do, but we rapid fire cards and people liked it.
That's a popular thing now.
It's popular now, but I feel like we were like one of the first ones to start doing it. So as we started learning and learning and learning, we just changed our streaming style here and there, but pretty much we've been doing just dollar start singles the whole time. And because that's how we started our business, just singles. So that's just kind of stayed true to our brand, and we just kept it going to that.
I guess to specifically dial into that question of someone that wants to do this now, how would they do it? I think, to not sugarcoat it, the cold hard truth from me would be, don't do it. You know, do something else, like grow TikTok, grow an Instagram. It's actually quite easy to grow a social media following if you give people a reason to follow you. And once you've earned enough people's trust, then leverage them over to Whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay. If we had 0 followers on Instagram and we started streaming on Whatnot, it would not be successful. You can build,
possible.
yeah, you can build a large profile by consistently streaming, building the community there, but you might not be making much money the first couple streams. If I were to do it from scratch again, I think the path that we did makes the most sense. Grow a following where it's easy to grow a following, where you don't lose money, right? You can make videos and not lose money. You can just make videos to entertain people. And again, once you've gained that trust, hey guys, we're going to Whatnot.
Yeah. Not to say it's not possible the other way around. Like we have a friend, Zaith, Galaxy TCG. He specializes in high-end only at Whatnot. So he'll buy gold stars and stuff like that. And that's how he got big on Whatnot. So he doesn't have any social media. He's a 20-year-old kid. He's just going around shows, buying singles, and then selling them online. It's just you'll have a higher success rate if you can have people who are familiar with you then join your stream afterwards.
Love that. The oversaturation question maybe in regards to content then, Ricky. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also actually really interested in the Trader John's guys' response to this. I'll give my quick 2 cents, but I'll give my quick 2 cents, which is when I started my channel, the very first video I posted, I did not truly have a channel. I posted to my personal email address channel. It is a phone video with no microphone of the collection I had amassed in a few months being an irresponsible little cardboard junkie. And that's it. That's the whole video. It's nothing special. The second video I posted, I decided, well, that was fun and I want to do a little bit more. It got like no traction, about maybe like 100 views, which I was like, wow, that's cool. 100 people watched that. I don't even know how they found it, but that's cool. I bought $400 of equipment. I strapped a action cam to my chest and I got a DJI mic that just Bluetooths into that. And I went to my local card show and I walked around and I spent $180. And that video did like thousands of views nearly overnight. And the first and the premise that I had when I decided I can spend $400 on this just because it's for fun. I'm so used to spending money on hobbies and not making money from them. I have a bunch of instruments over here. Like I'm totally in the hole on a vast majority of my hobbies financially. But the premise was a lot of people are doing vendor POV. Not a lot of people are doing buyer POV. And I think there was about 2 guys doing buyer POV. And I was like, they're doing it good. I think I can do it different. And I had the hypothesis that the general audience, I get why vendor POV is attractive. The general audience, though, is buyers. Way more people that are watching YouTube videos relate more to a person buying cards at a card show than a person selling them at a card show. That was as far as I went with it. I thought this would be more relatable than vendor POV, and there's like very few people doing it well and consistently. And so is it saturated? Sure. If your plan is to just post like really boring, medium quality, like totally okay vendor POV videos that are just like everyone else's, then I think that niche within the niche is hard to break through in without some sort of angle or edge. So now going to the Trader John's guys, several of your videos have really interesting concepts. The thumbnail or the title, like One of them that really caught my eye recently. I admittedly I didn't watch it, partly because I wanted to just ask you guys about this stuff, and I'll go back and watch them later. Showing up to a card show, vending with empty cases. Gold stars are booming, and like there's these really and obviously the 0 to 100 band or whatever 10 to 100 bands. These good catchy concepts, and you guys blew up fast. And I'm really fascinated by the people that sort of have like what looks like instant success on long form. What's your guys' read on saturation in YouTube for like the card show Pokemon creator?
Okay, so I guess my whole perspective when building our YouTube was, what can I do that someone else that someone might want that they're not getting yet, right? Because if I want to watch vendor POVs, do you know who I'm going to watch? I'm going to watch Jar-Chomp Collectibles. I'm going to watch Bulbasaur. I'm going to go watch Pokestop Will. I'm going to go to polls, right? These are the guys that I'm going to go watch when I want to watch that. So if I'm coming to the scene brand new, who would, like, it's not like an ego thing, but like, why would someone choose to watch me when there's these guys that have cemented their self in the scene that make these fantastic videos for that purpose? I feel like the only way you're going to make yourself known, if you want to be in the same niche, because we did want to do vendor POVs, is try to bring a slightly different angle, you know? And I feel like, to be honest with myself, I think I'm a weird, quirky guy. There's a lot to my personality that, you know, you might not be able to get from a little TikTok video that I make on my phone. So incorporating pieces of me and our life, whether it's before the show, during the show, after the show, to really like bring someone along the ride. Like, hey, this is what it's like to go to the convention with us. This is not just the show, but the whole weekend. This is what our life is like. To have that slightly different flavor, I thought people might be interested in. And to be honest, that's something that we're still working on. Like, I do think, like you said, we started relatively soon. So I'm quite happy with the success that our channel has gotten. But I wouldn't say like, that was the goal. 20,000 views, awesome. That's what we wanted. It's like, we're still trying to figure out exactly what the future of the Trader John's videos are going to be like. So every video we upload is going to be slightly different. You know, are we incorporating more vlog? Are we incorporating, you know, more pieces behind the scene? Or is there going to be more footage that I'm just holding the camera in my hand, or John's holding the camera in his hand, and we're not locking the camera on that little pole the whole time? You know, these are all variables that we're playing around with to try to find what works with us.
So much good stuff in there. You can ask yourself, what do I wish I could spend more time watching that I can't find enough of? That question for me is actually like, I've gone and created the thing, right? I felt like basically supply glut of buyer POV, supply glut of people explaining how to get good deals at card shows, supply glut of people explaining how they got started as a vendor when they knew absolutely nothing about being a vendor. Like, people were making these videos. And so I was like, why not me? And to your point, like there's actually, there's some ego thing to believe it could be me, but there's also like the inverse of that. There's a lot of humility in saying, why would anyone care to watch me if I just posted the same thing that everyone else is already doing amazingly? Like, and not that you can't make it in pack ripping or vendor POV, but like you said, like, what's it gonna take for me to be more compelling than Jar-Chomp or Bulbasaur as a just vendor POV guy? And but that's like not a hypothetical question. You can literally answer that question. The answer to that question might be, what if I showed up with empty cases? Like, that's such a smart hook. I wish I thought of it, man.
I didn't come up with it though.
No,
that it wasn't our idea.
Flipping cardboard.
Yeah, flipping cardboard. Oh, how can I forget him? He's also one of my favorites.
Shout out Dawson. Yeah, he's done that. Also, Brian Ong has a series on this kind of stuff. Like, cool ideas.
And flipping cardboard has a double camera usually, right? He has a POV. So I mean, another super smart like little innovation that is distinctive to him. So anyway, I just I loved what you guys said, but I think it's the question about like, is it saturated? It's like, what do I wish I could spend 5 more hours a week watching? And there's just not enough of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think there is so much to be learned from the people that are already in the place that you want to be, but you don't get there by copying them. You get there by learning from what made them successful and try to find out how you can apply that to your own path, your own journey, right?
100%. I've never come up with a truly original concept. Like everything I do is sort of inspired or based on something else. And sometimes it's two things. Like I'll blend, there's like an entertainment YouTuber named Hunter Williams. He does these like funny, bits and he weaves a story into them. It's entertainment stuff. But the way he weaves that story in was something I wanted to do. So I took like card show vlogging and how do I make like a B plot in a card show vlog about my life. And that was one of the videos that I'm sort of most proud of as like from like a creative standpoint. And I completely did not come up with that idea myself. I was just going down this rabbit hole of this guy who is really clever at creating a hook and creating that sort of reason to watch to the end of the video because there was this like clear A and B plot.
You know, some of our best ideas were from remixing ideas that already exist. I mean, look, I'm a DJ. We know what we do. We make mixes and we make remixes. I do write my own songs, but that's not the point of this. Some of my best works as like a music producer were remixing other people's already ideas that existed. Some of our best videos, like our best performing shorts, was me taking trends, social media trends that existed, but me figuring out how I could apply it to Pokemon. We had like a video that went crazy on Instagram, me showing my girlfriend's binder. That was a trend that existed, but for something, it was like this girl was like, this is my boyfriend's plant collection. He wants to show you, you better be nice. And I thought it was genius, right? What a hook. Yeah. What a hook. The dude was showing off his cute little plants, 6 million likes. Wow. It had like 20 million views. So when I saw that, this is my girlfriend's Pokemon collection. You better be nice, you know? Right? Like there's so much to be learned by observing and absorbing what already works out there. How can you apply that to this?
I love that point. One caveat is don't kid yourself that watching 20 hours of social media content is going to turn you into a YouTuber.
It might.
You need to go out and do your research, but you also need to create. You need to try.
Yeah.
You
have to try.
You have to.
Yeah, and go out and give it a try. And I think that dovetails into the next kind of subplot here, which is vending too saturated? And again, my answer here is going to be no, because there's new shows, there's small shows for the vast majority of people within 100 miles of where you live. There is a show almost every weekend. Now, compared to what it was 2 years ago, that was not true. Nowadays, that is true. And those shows may not be collecticons. They may not be front row card shows or, you know, all those other big circuits or whatever. But they might be at a mall. They might be at a game store. I know Trader John's, your guys' first card show was what, like in the basement of a shoe store, you said?
Yeah, sports basements. Yeah, it's like a sports shoe store.
Yeah, we were the only Pokemon people there.
Yeah,
15 tables maybe.
My first show was in like this abandoned retail space on the outside of an indoor mall. and there was like two or three other Pokemon people there, but mostly it was like Funko Pops and plushies, and someone put a big Pikachu plushie in a chair outside the door so people would know that there were people inside, and then someone walked by and stole that Pikachu plushie. Like that's the kind of vibe that this show was. And I learned more lessons that I've carried through to now, like more fundamental lessons than any of the big shows that I've been to. I learned about table display and networking with vendors and doing fair deals, and I refined how I'd build the booth and all this kind of stuff. It gave me ideas about, like, my first show, I didn't have any vertical stands for cards, but you guys may know, like, basically a whole year of our vending, I set up little tripods and like stands that would stand vertically behind my table so I could show more cards than the people next to me, just to get more inventory and more eyeballs. Mm-hmm. That wasn't something that I saw, but it was something that I learned from being at my table, thinking, man, I'm paying $200 or whatever for this one table. How do I double the space without paying double? You know, like those kinds of things will just come to you when you go and give it a try. But again, circling back, there's local shows, give it a try. Go and find out if you like it. Go and find out if you vibe with the energy of the show. Go and meet new people and network there. And you'll discover that it's not too saturated. And at every show, there's people who have items that are worth less than what you have and worth more than what you have. And just be okay with starting on your own journey.
Yeah.
Great advice.
It's a good point. Somebody in the chat said something that's related to this about card show saturation. So GR Gaming TCG, attrition in that 1 to 2 year range also always opens spots for folks. No one talks about burnout from the grind. Yeah, I have talked about this once in a video, saying something to the effect. There's studies that say like the average lifespan of a hobby is like 18 months. Like 90% of people just give up on something in the first year and a half, no matter what you do or whatever the hobby is. It just applies like statistically across the board. So yeah, there's like, just because there's always that like natural cycle that like some people are just going to stop. There's some guys that I think about occasionally that were very, very present in my local scene 6 months ago, a year ago. And I think of them like somebody popped into my head yesterday where I was like, oh man, where's that guy been? Like I haven't seen him at a show in 6 months. Like I know he's got a kid and he works a night shift at a restaurant. So it was hard for him to balance it all. And maybe he just sort of decided like, I can't balance it all. I don't know, but like, yeah, of course, like there's always new shows opening up there. As Jake said, we've talked about this multiple times on this pod. There can be in major metros, there can be 4 shows going on at the exact same time within like 30 miles of each other. And then you talk to all the vendors at those shows and they're all like, show was awesome, packed.
Yeah.
So we're
here
not
in California, we will have shows like 10 minutes away from each other. I've gone to shows, I'd go buy out singles in one show, 10 minutes drive, next show.
Yep.
Let's do the same thing.
The last show I vended, multiple people did one show one day and one show the next day, or they did one show in the morning and the other show in the afternoon, like 100%. They're within 30 minutes of each other. And all the vendors at all those shows were like, yeah, it was popping. It was great. So it's not too late. Anything else on like other selling channels? We had a little note here on offloading to repackers and middlemen.
I think once you start vending, you'll learn like what your style is. There are vendors that don't even buy tables anymore. They just go around and buy card slabs and sell it to these repackers. If that works for you, great. But I think there's not a shortage of avenues of making your money. Like you can make your money through singles, slabs, grading, flipping whatever you want in Pokemon. Sealed products, you can only do sealed. I think determining what your style is, and the only way you could find out is by trying it. So I think whatever selling channel that suits you, it's the one you should go with if you're starting a new business.
Yeah, I think that's also an interesting point to bring up. Like you said, you had a friend that was a super successful vendor and he only had 1,000 followers. You know, just because we have more followers, the game is a little bit different. But someone with 1,000 followers can be just as successful as someone with way more. It's just a different game. There's so many ways to play the game, and you just got to get started. You got to hit start. You got to pick a starter, right? You got to start walking through the grass, get some XP, start evolving.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, I completely agree. The idea of all these different sales channels, like, and the other thing is you're just going to be drawn to some, and you're going to have good experiences with some, bad experiences with others, and you'll pursue new things. I mean, just last year, we started streaming. I had never planned on doing that, and last year we started it. We're having a great time, cool community of people, and now we're doing it every week. So not something I would have expected, but your business adapts. You try new things go good, and you continue to double down on those. I think the moral of the story for all of this is it's not too late, and that the only solution is to pick something and do it and try it long enough that you get better at it. And this kind of comes back to maybe the Midweek Machamps logo. Both Ricky and I are martial artists, and his stat of people giving up on hobbies within 18 months is so uber prevalent when it comes to grappling and jiu-jitsu. Because, well, there's other things besides just losing interest. Like, you also get beat up for like the first however long, and you come home and you're exhausted and you're in pain and you're covered in some other dude's sweat.
Nice.
And you just, there's a lot that like could maybe pull you away from it. But once you start to stop being the nail and you start to be the hammer, you start to win, you start to, land submissions, you start to land takedowns, you're no longer the new kid. Maybe you lose a little bit of weight, you get stronger, all that kind of stuff. That's exhilarating. It's exhilarating to get better and to gain skills and to form an identity around your approach to a hobby and to become known for something. And that's just a really cool thing to have happen. And this community in Pokemon, we love to do that. Like, the entire name of the game is self-expression. Choose your favorite Pokemon, choose your game, choose your way to buy, sell, or trade, or collect, or whatever, and carve out that niche. And no one else can copy you, because they and here's the thing is, maybe someone becomes so successful at copying you up until now, but like, no one knows what you're going to do next, and they can't possibly follow you your every footstep. So go be yourself and give it a try, guys.
That is a beautiful note on which to wrap our main topic. Even though I'm sure we could easily spend another hour rattling off about it, I think we covered it pretty good. So I've starred 17 questions so far in the chat for Q&A here, but we are totally pacing to a 3-hour stream again. Let me go and grab a couple of questions here. How are you guys, Trader John's guys? How are you feeling? Not too antsy? You need to run to the restroom, grab a bite?
No, we're chilling.
Doing great.
Yeah.
Chilling. You guys are doing great.
Well, good.
Right,
in that case, I'm going to go use the restroom.
Yeah,
You
do
guys
your
hold
thing,
it down.
and we'll answer a few questions here. Okay. We had a couple questions about security. So one thing we didn't talk about, it was a valid Hitmon topic. I didn't watch it, but I think Card Lounge guys had it in their title about like the prevalence of robberies in stores recently. Definitely a real bummer of a headline, but hard to ignore. What do you think about the rise of armed robberies over Pokemon cards? Security is going to have to be taken more seriously. There was another question about like, how do you take measures for security? So there were several security related questions. How do you guys think about this?
Yeah. So just to start, it's super unfortunate that this is
Yeah.
happening. Like, this is a kid's game, and for people to get robbed at gunpoint for cards is like,
It's crazy.
super crazy. I my opinion on it, I think that, you as a vendor, like, we need to be looking out for each other, and we have like our traveling group that we do that for. It's really beneficial to have like a group that you travel with, that you go around with. It's just safer overall. I think that the robberies are happening just because of the fact that there's a ton of money in it, and people are realizing that these cards are not linked to anything. They're just carried by a person, and you can't really verify it, besides the PSA slap, but there's no purchase history on it. But it's really unfortunate. Like, you just have to take extra measures. Like, for example, we got insurance on our business. That's one way to combat it. The other way is travel as a group, be more safe, look around your surroundings at all times. Be a little bit wary about where you're walking with your inventory. Maybe don't leave it in the car. Take it in with you. Like, when we ate with Jake, we took our stuff in with us. So it just depends on your situation and where you are at the time. But overall, it's just really sad that it's happening. Like, we know people that have been personally affected, and it's
People that are very close to it.
yeah. It's just tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, if you ever go out to the nearest Asian restaurant near a card show, after the card show, go to a curry place or a pho place, and you see 8 dudes with Zion suitcases at the table, it's like, yeah, we're not leaving it in the car, man. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
totally agree. It's like bring it with you
Yeah.
kind of thing. Totally
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, I second everything you guys said about shows. Obviously, like having a camera can help with that as well as a deterrent or to catch somebody if something does happen. Personally, like for vending at shows specifically, I always have everything in cases. So obviously, like, you know, vending, but some people just put stuff out, but like I always have things in cases. For sealed, I always have a rack, a shelf, the foldable shelf behind me.
Yeah.
So someone can't snatch it from that's one of the most common things I see happen at shows when something gets stolen is there was a rack like right on the corner in front of the table kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happened to you?
Yeah.
Happened to someone that we were vending with, but it didn't belong to us.
Well, also at that local show, he took it off the rack.
Oh, I totally
we caught him
about that.
We caught him.
Someone did straight up sneak behind us and take a box from us.
Yeah.
But the vendors behind us caught it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There
Caught
you
him.
go.
Caught him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was
It
it?
was. Sorry.
How was it set up that they were able to get behind you?
It's like a hotel, and there's just 2 rows, and then to get in, it's just the opening on the side, and there's only entrances on the side. So I guess he was just pretending to be a vendor, just walk back in between the rows, and just,
So, yeah.
Jeez.
yeah.
Okay. The other thing I do is if I with binders right now, I'm probably gradually moving a little bit away from binders, but binders are always $20 and less. So if something gets stolen, it's like that would suck. But like, one, I might be able to catch it because there's only one binder on my table, and 2, it's like maybe $500 or $1,000 of lower end cards. Like I'll survive. And if you're really paranoid about it, for a long time, I was using I tied together 2 shoelaces. And I would tie the middle of the binder down to the table, so you physically couldn't pick up and move the binder. So little things like that you can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then same thing. We've talked about this stuff. Get a PO box. Like
Yeah,
that is one of the best piece of advice. If you're going to start selling and buying cards, and you're going to signal to anybody in the world that there might be Pokemon cards at your house, have a PO box. It's, you know, I burn some real amount of gas driving down to my PO box like 4 times a week, but
Yeah.
I literally had the thought today as I was waiting for it, and I was like, I've never had one issue with a delivery or pickup of a package here over the last year, and the PO box is like $60 a month or something. I'm like, the value, the ROI on $60 a month is unbelievable.
It is.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jake, on security?
No, my first reaction is just that petty theft and stealing from other people who are trying to build a business is just disgusting and utter trash. So I have a hard time saying that I don't despise you for doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
We had this question come up a few times. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know if I have an answer. I'd have to think about it. From Snorlux Collectibles. For all of us, what's the biggest roadblock that we faced in our journeys that we could have avoided, and how would we face it today?
Could have avoided.
I got one. I feel like I have touched about it a couple times on social media, but it's being okay with taking a loss on a card, because the most valuable thing to us is being able to buy. Right? If someone has like an incredible item, whether it's big, small, a collection, a single item, whatever it is, the most painful thing is to not be able to hop on that opportunity and take advantage of, you know, a play, being able to buy something. And I think vendors are too, you know, we're guilty of this too, but sometimes too focused on making sure we don't lose money on a singular card. But it's not about making money on the singular card. It's about, you know, the overall in and out flow of your inventory. Because you can't really control if the market's going to go up or down, but you can control if the card's going to sit or not, right? Sometimes I do think it's more valuable to take a little bit of a loss, get the cash back, and being able to use the cash to grow further. But again, this all depends on, you know, your buying power, your inventory size. If your inventory is, you know, $500,000 and you have $200,000 in cash, this might not apply to you. But if you're a smaller vendor that's constantly, you know, strapped for cash, but then you need the cash flow to continue growing, I do think it's okay to take a loss on an item. the smaller you are, I think it applies.
Yeah, I second that.
Oh, by taking a loss, I mean like if the market price has come down a little bit since where you bought it, it's okay to now sell it. I don't mean, you know, buy a card for 600 and then purposely sell it for less. That's not what I'm specifying here. You know, market conditions.
Yeah.
If it comes down, it's okay to move it.
Love that mentality. Yeah, I talked a little bit about that on the Card Lounge podcast with Rob. And what I said there holds true is that money loves speed. And if you can turn something over, immediately get that cash out of it, a lot of times that's the better answer than you know, holding forever and hoping the right deal walks up to your table. I accepted an offer on a card this past weekend that was $1,000 below my asking price, but I'd had it for a while. Even that offer made me, you know, $3,000 or so on top of what I was into that card for. But it was rare, so I thought it was worth the top price tag. But then again, it was a situation where, like the day before, I had spent $20,000 on a singles collection, and I wanted to get some liquidity back just in case another one of those wanted to walk up to my table the next day. And yeah, you just have to. Every decision you make on this in this business is kind of a calculated gamble. And on that topic, I have my biggest roadblock, which is I would say you need to identify your risk tolerance, and not just your emotional risk tolerance, but like your actual fiscal risk tolerance. And you need to operate your business in relationship to that risk tolerance as much as possible. So if you're a single guy and you're young and you don't have dependents and you don't own a home and you're not, you know, up to your eyeballs in debt, then you have the ability to work an incredible amount of hours and be online doing buy, sell, trade all day long, travel the country, buy expensive cards. And, you know, like you should be leaning into that. On the flip side, if you've got kids and you've got a mortgage and you've got health issues and you've got, you know, all those, you know, your full-time job, like your risk tolerance is different, both from how much time you can spend in the hobby and how much money you can spend in the hobby or your hobby business. So identify that risk tolerance, and then every so often push the envelope on that risk tolerance and take a calculated bet to step outside of it, because there is no way for you to grow your business exponentially without doing something that you aren't doing today. And an example of this for me is last year, early in the year, I would not have told you that I would be willing to go and do live streaming. I didn't like the connotation. I didn't think it was a good fit for my business. I didn't feel like I had enough inventory to take to shows and to sell on stream. I didn't like the idea of packaging up items and sending them in the mail and risk of, you know, credit card chargeback frauds. And I didn't like the idea of developing some skills in sales tax nexus all over the country, and all of these reasons why I didn't want to get involved. But then I tried it and we figured all those things out, and it's been an incredible net positive for our business and incredible net positive for our community. And I've met people that I wouldn't have met otherwise and developed cool relationships with people that I now get to meet in person. And it's fun. We have a fun time. And now I'm thinking about what are the other things that I told myself I'm not willing to do or are too risky or I'm not good enough at yet that I should probably try now.
Nice.
Agreed.
I love that. Mine for this question on biggest roadblock that I could have avoided and how would I face it today would be it's speed and efficiency related. So basically I probably spent too long doing like really low leverage things So a couple examples of this I talked about recently, grading low-end cards, like spending too much time there on, grabbing a $10 card that I know will 10, but the 10 is $50 and the grading fee is 25. And so I have to wait a few months and then I sell it for 40 and I made $5. It's like, I probably could have just taken that $10 and made more than $5 in the 4 months it took. And in the hour or whatever, not hour, but maybe in the 10 minutes it took me to source the card and inspect it and add it into the PSA thing and all that stuff. So that's one example, very related to that. The way I started my journey reselling cards was that because that first video I posted, I had a $13,000 Pokemon collection, and I was like, that's a lot of cardboard, and I'm uncomfortable now, and I should figure out how to offload the things that I maybe don't want as my collection evolves, like as my tastes change and evolve. And I started really, really safe, really low risk, selling on eBay, like $15 cards, $10 cards, like little hits that I got from maybe pack opening that I didn't want, and buying things on Reddit like bricks, like CGC7, random lots of CGC cards just because I could get them at 68% or something off of Reddit. $260.
Incredible upside on those.
What's that?
Incredible upside on those.
It sort of is, but they're impossible to move. And you learn that eventually. You're like, after a while, you're like, get these out of my house. I'm just going to auction them. I don't care if I lose money on them. And in some of them, probably on the whole, you buy $400 of CGC, random bricks of random grades of random cards for $250, and you can net $20 on that. But like, you spent a lot of time sourcing that thing and then building the listing to make $1 here and $1 there. And I think that was a great way for me to start because it gave me a lot of confidence to scale it up. But I wish I had, kind of to Jake's point, increased the risk way, way faster. I spent months and months and months playing that game, recovering $1 at a time, when I had probably a month into it, developed all the skill I needed to make bigger moves. So same thing with the grading. It just took me way too long. You send 200 like little wimpy cards, and then you're like, why have I been doing this all year? Like, let's just stop. So realizing those things too slow.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
From Shanson, would you ever open a storefront?
Yes.
Yes.
Really? I'm probably a no on this. Why are you such fast yeses for you guys?
For me, it comes down to how I like to collect. I love to collect and to curate a beautiful collection. And the idea of curating just a freaking badass LGS sounds so fun.
Yeah.
A really big inspiration for me on this front is a creator named Retro Rick. If you guys are into the video game scene, go check out Retro Rick. He bought a game store in Arkansas that had a pretty significant inventory, and then he used his incredible marketing and showcasing ability to turn it into a place that people travel across the country to Arkansas to visit. And I love that idea. And so the storefront would mostly just be, Jartomp's Pokemon Palace, essentially, come and hang out and rip packs and all that kind of stuff. But I would only do it when I am living in the location that I want to be in long term, right? Because it's definitely a big shift up from how we're managing our business now, which is like very versatile, lots of travel, and very flexible. When you have an LGS, like, you're locked down. That is the definition of kind of planting your flag.
Yeah. For me, it's always been my dream. Just because as a kid, I would always go to these card stores, buy packs with my cousins. We would all gang up at the store, and then just trade, buy whatever you want there. And we had so much fun. Like, we had nothing to do on the weekends. Our parents would just drop us off at our grandma's place, and we'd all walk together to these stores. And that's like where my best memories like came from growing up. So I want to provide that to other people. That's like my reason why.
It's like the ultimate community experience.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, John and I have discussed opening a store probably 3 separate occasions now. Each time we've drafted a brand new business plan. But I think a store does feel like very, very end game for us.
It does.
Like, at this point in the Trader John's story or our careers, it might not make the most sense since we're traveling, every single weekend. But I know the desire to have a store, we completely understand, the business risks that come with that and the enormous, cost that it's going to add to everything. But for, our fulfillment and our end goal, it makes sense. I think it really makes sense for us. It would be awesome to have a store.
The Bulba store says we can all combine to one mega store. Ooh, wow. Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Let's draft up a plan right now,
The
man.
Bulba store is basically a Pokemon VC at this point, so I think it'll work out for all of us.
I think so.
I was going to say I want to open a store, but I also before then I need to meet somebody who I trust to be my armed guard during the nighttime. Because it's crazy out there.
It is.
That's the biggest reason why my current answer is no. Because all the reasons you guys stated about running a store in a utopia sounds idyllic, but I mean, I would not sleep as well at night if I owned a store.
You would if you had Brock Lesnar there waiting for the thieves
with a shotgun and I hear you.
Yeah,
just
give him a flamethrower and just put a big Charizard shirt on him.
What would we name this mega store if it was the four of us plus Bulba?
Knowing Dylan, there's no chance that we open a store that isn't called the Bulba store. So we all just get absorbed into his orbit.
It'll have art memes in like small font under it.
Yeah, exactly. In the fine print, maybe in the fine print of the LLC documentation, you can find our names.
I got it. The trading store collectibles.
Yeah, Bulba store and servants.
Dylan's army.
Right.
We've got car questions answered. I was like trying to read it. Okay, car questions answered. Do you choose to make videos that you like or try to appeal more to your audience?
I think Jake talked about how he usually was it Jake that said that he tries to make videos that he wants to watch? Or was that Ricky?
No, Jake said that more explicitly. We both said similar things. Yeah.
Cool. I think I do have a slightly different approach. I always tell John it's like a multi-questioned. You have to ask a lot of questions to yourself before you actually make the video. For me, first, it's who am I making the video for? I determine that before I make it. And then I ask, why would this group of people that I decided I want to make the video for, why would they want to watch this? And then once I figure out those two questions, then we make the video. So try to appeal to your audience. That's exactly what I do. I decide who the audience is, and I do make the video for them.
Love that. Yeah, I mean, you have to balance both, right? Like, on one hand, you need to consider viewership if your goal is to grow your channel, right? If it isn't just to have like kind of a cool passion project of making videos, and you want people to watch them, then you need to think about what they want to watch. But then again, I also think about a YouTube channel is not a moment. A YouTube channel is literally like a marathon, and a marathon is not an event. A marathon is 6 months of building up your respiratory system and your CO2 system to like train your body to be able to perform at that moment, right? Like the YouTube channel is all the hours in the back end and the editing and the ideating and the graph studying and the time management and all of those things that goes into actually making the channel. And I promise you, you will not survive those lonely, dark, late, boring hours unless you like the content that you're making. Unless you like it, you will not survive.
Yeah,
that's true.
I totally agree with the statement on like you have to do both. The way I think about it for my channel is the things like vendor POV are sort of like the freebie, like it's like the sort of foundation in some ways now, because I'm sort of inevitably vending about once a month. So I always can get a couple of videos out of that. And those aren't like, people watch them, right? They're not the most fun for me to make anymore now that I've done like 50 of them or whatever, or 20 of them. I don't know how many it is, but you split them up into parts. They take time and they get repetitive. The appealing to the audience piece, like a good example is one of my most watched videos is how I pre-grade cards. And I made that video because people would not stop asking me to make a video about how I pre-grade cards. And for the longest time, I was like, guys, that video idea sucks so bad. Like, it would be so boring. And like, it's not, what am I going to say that hasn't been said 1,000 times by people who have graded way more than me? Like, why? Stop asking me this. And like, obviously I'm not this angry, but like, like literally getting this comment like every day, every other day for months. And eventually I'm like, let's just do it. And so I made the video. And I literally say in the video multiple times, like, I don't know why you guys want to watch this.
You shouldn't be watching this. You should click away now.
Like, this is boring. And I don't know. Last time I checked, it has like 90,000 views or something like that. Like, it's a very evergreen video. People are always asking this question and they want it answered. And for whatever reason, the way I answered it, or the packaging that I gave it, resonated particularly well. So that's the kind of appealing to the audience. There's a few, every so often, every couple months, maybe every 3 months, I'll make a video that like I actually make very begrudgingly, but it's because I know that there's real demand for it. I'm not that excited about it as a project.
Yeah.
Most of the time, aside from vendor POV and begrudging educational topics, the other one being what app do you use for comping cards? That was another one where I just couldn't stop getting that. Everyone, I'm sure, that creates content gets that question like constantly. I eventually just made a video. I was like, stop asking me this. Here's all the apps I use for comping cards and what I use in different situations. Now you can stop asking me this. So sometimes it's sort of tongue in cheek like that. But yeah, most of everything else besides those 2 categories of videos, I mostly make because I like them. And I am the audience. I also consume this sort of content. So I create things that I think I would like to watch, knowing that my audience would also like to watch it. That's a majority of it, more than 80%, just stuff that I want to make.
Very cool.
Xanity TCG, what advice would you give to someone who's looking to vend that works a full-time job and is a full-time student as well?
Sounds like it's up Ricky's alley.
Okay, I'll start. I'm not a full-time student.
Yeah.
I do work a full-time job. I guess subtle plug. We're not rolling out the red carpet yet, but my next video, I think one comes out tomorrow. The next video after that is the longest video I've ever posted. And it is literally like just me narrating a week and a half of my life day by day by day.
Wow.
Where I'm like, here's what I did today. And like, here's how I fit the Pokemon business stuff in it. And like, here's what I'm going to do next. And I'll see you tomorrow. And like, it's an hour and a half of that. So if anyone's really interested in like, it's very honest and personal and like very minimally edited. I don't know with the full-time student thing, this sounds hard, and you got to prioritize and make real decisions. And you probably have to just find little opportunities to do this a tiny bit at a time and build a very small brick at a time. But for me, I try to sort of compartmentalize these things. So it's like, what are the 3 most important things for me today, or 4 most important things? It's okay. It's a work day. I got to do a good job at my 9 to 5. I have a wife, and like some days I don't have to pay as much attention to her. And some days I should really, really prioritize that as the number 1 or 2 thing for that day. And then I don't have to work out every day, but some days I should go work out. And so some days, some days I focus on my health, and that's a top priority, and that's going to be a higher priority than the Pokemon business. And then whatever is left after that is Pokemon business time. And so actually the reality is, Xanity, if you spend any time doom scrolling and watching content that doesn't help you learn how to be better at the things that you're doing, or you play video games, unfortunately, as much as I love video games, if you do anything like recreational and like not terribly productive, consider whether you can trim that down by half and replace it with stuff like this.
Very good advice.
Yeah, everyone has the same amount of time in the day. So unfortunately, it just comes to sacrificing certain things to make times for other things. And I know if you're vending at local shows, a lot of times local shows are only one day, so that can be a whole lot easier to fit into your schedule. The big conventions, the 2-day ones, especially the ones that you need to travel to, might be a lot harder. But I would say, like, still, if you can plan your schedule out in advance, you could make time for those. I think vending at the local 1-day shows are definitely going to be, the best bet, since the commitment's a lot lower. If you want to do the whole 9 yards and also tackle making content while doing it, which is much more challenging. Honestly, looking back, I don't know. I was telling John, I don't know how I was making content when we were in our early days, because I had 2 part-time jobs. But the only way that I could really do it is making content was something that I was always working on, although like it could be split up into days. I was telling Jake about this earlier. I actually don't make these videos as much now, but in the early days when I did a lot of, like, I call them talking head videos, when I pick a topic and I just talk about it and share my opinions on it, I would break the work into days. So let's say on Monday, for example, I would spend the whole day, or not the whole day, but the entire block of time, maybe an hour or 2, brainstorming all of my ideas out, and then taking the best ideas and then scripting them out and writing them into what I think the videos would be. Tuesday, I have another 2 hours. Perfect. I'm going to take 2 hours and film all the ideas that I liked back to back to back to back. Then on Wednesday, I'll edit them all. And then look, it took, 2-hour segments, 3 separate days, but you have like a whole bunch of videos that are ready to go now. It doesn't have to be like find time every day and then make an amazing video, when you can compartmentalize the individual aspects that go into making the video, that then makes putting it out into the world much, much easier.
Love that. I'm going to maybe just reverse engineer this and look at these 3 places where I'm spending my time: work, school, and vending, and start with the end in mind, right? So what outcome do I need from work? What outcome do I need from student? What outcome do I need from vending? And the reason I'm going to do that is because, like Derek said, everything's a trade-off. Your time and your focus is all a trade-off. We all have 24 hours in a day. And so I would say you would be an extremely exceptional person to get all A's and earn promotions at your job and be a trailblazing vendor. Like that's an exceptional individual. And so maybe you need to look at your life and say, okay, well, I'm only studying so I can get my degree. So like C's and B's are okay. And maybe I'm just going to work for a paycheck and I don't need to earn a promotion. So I don't need to show up early and network with my boss. And maybe, the vending thing is the thing that I really want to put my passion into and push it that way. And maybe it's not like that. Maybe the vending is a hobby and you do it once a month and then the other things take precedence. But you got to figure out what you actually really are trying to achieve out of all 3 of these pursuits first before balancing them.
Yeah, good framing.
That's a great idea.
That is.
Okay, we're about to hit 3 hours. I think we call it there on Q&A. And so before we wrap up, we always wrap up with an elite forecast. One of the questions somebody asked was like, speculate on something for us. And that's exactly what we end every pod with. So the elite forecast, for the folks unfamiliar, is aside from one of the best poke puns in the game, which you can only get here at the Midweek Machamps, it is us making a bold call on something. Popularity up or down, something, star of the next set is going to be this. It's going to be called this. This card is going to go up in price or down in price.
Whether or not Ricky's going to pop his collar and our next Midweek Machamps podcast, that's pretty much 100% log.
Can I bet on that?
Yeah, it's on Polymarket right now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah. Well, we can insider trade that on a Kalshi tonight.
Exactly.
There we
Dang,
go,
he's
baby.
handsome.
Dang.
Wow.
Man, it gets higher? That's crazy.
Yeah. This,
my gosh.
I popped the collar to reveal that the collar has a collar.
Dang, bro. Not a single raindrop is going to hit your neck. That's
Not
crazy.
one, dude. The warmest neck in the West.
All right, what's your forecast, Ricky? I'm looking at our notes sheet,
yeah.
and it looks like you have basically a college essay here, and then I've got like, so I look like I wrote it here with my left hand.
Yeah, sometimes how it goes, though I'm actually not going to read off my little essay here because we've already said so much of the things that are related to this. So I'm just going to make my call, which is there are a lot of tailwinds for low population, high grade vintage cards right now. And so the call is that a lot of these are like insular and a whole different thing from the like repacking pull games thing. It's like a whole, it might as well just be a different hobby from like the primarily modern cards that are swirling around in that. Graded cards, mid-era hollows, graded vintage and mid-era hollows under pop 100 especially, and especially if they have swirls, and especially if they're popular mons, any combination of those things, I think have at least 30 to 50% to grow like through now through the summer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Love it. What about you, boys? What do you think?
I don't think mine's that hot of a take. I would say I'm pretty confident in this one, but I think Evolving Skies booster box, $3,000 this year at the end of the year.
Dude, we did something in the same category. We didn't even talk about what
you gonna say Moonbreon?
Yeah,
I was gonna say that too.
that's the card that. Oh, sorry. That's the card that got me back into Pokemon cards. So I wanted to do that one. I think it's gonna be like a 5K card by the year.
Wow.
I think so. Just based on the amount of people asking us for it and how steady the price has been the past like 3-4 months. I think
High threes right now.
Yeah, it's like it's now gone up to the 3.5, 3.8 range.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but for being such a high pop card,
I never see it.
Moonbreon is one of the most popular is not the right word, but like we just can't keep it.
Yeah.
If we get a Moonbreon, it's gone within the same show. Usually, we almost never go home with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We went to the last show with 2 Moonbreons because we got one in a trade-in, one through the mail or something like that, and they were both gone day one.
Yeah. And you never see them at the shows anymore for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Repackers got them.
They're hoarding them.
All
tens of thousands of them. What's the pop on the card?
19,000?
Yeah, it'll be 20K this year for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that call. I think it coincides with the box going up too. That's inevitable. They're kind of related.
Yeah.
My call is 151 packs to $30 each by September.
Wow.
By September. Why specifically September?
Yeah, why September?
So it goes out of cycle in April. So the block will officially be over. They will not be reprinting, not tournament legal at all. And I think that'll cause kind of a rush. But then there's maybe a little bit of a lull in the summer and the market generally. And then September, we've got probably the bulk of our 30th anniversary set that'll be coming out, have come out, big attention, market pumping, all the really desirable items that people want to get into will be getting pumped. And I'm thinking, let's say we get like a good boost of new hobbyists coming into the hobby around the 30th anniversary sets. What are they going to want to rip? Well, probably one of the best sets ever. So
yeah.
Do you think the newcomers are going to want to pay like $20-$30 a pack initially, even though 151 is what it is? Like that is expensive.
A certain layer of them will, like a certain layer of newcomers today love ripping Evolving Skies packs at $40 a piece. Like I do not keep those in stock on my stream. Whenever I have loose packs, they're all ripped. And I would guess that most of the people that are ripping those were not ripping them when they were $3.50 a piece.
Yeah.
Sav Hype calling you out on pumping your very heavy 151 bag.
Yeah, Sav Hype knows because he laid the concrete in my basement. He's got I think I could like build a house with all the bundles I bought from him.
Wow.
I funded his entire baby moon.
Wow. That's awesome.
Shout out baby Sav Hype.
I have a question. Maybe not necessarily a forecast, but it could be interpreted as that. With the 30th anniversary coming out this year, are there any is like gimmick the right word? Because they did the gold star. Is there any sort of gimmick or type of card you're hoping that they bring back? This might not be a prediction, but like, what would you like to see them bring back?
Give me a silver border Lugia EX Altart. Oh God, please.
So the old school silver border EX style, but like full art SIR style.
Ooh,
yes, sir.
Yeah,
that would be nasty.
I hope they make new cards and they just don't like stamp something. It needs to be something new and fresh for people to open and to enjoy.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Actually, one thing I agree with that. One thing I would like to see is a return of a Radiant collection. So we have that in Legendary Treasures. We have it Generations.
Yeah.
I think that like that cute ribbon and metal style that happens on the border of those Radiant cards.
Yeah.
So popular. I would love to see more of that.
I would love for them to bring those back as IRs. Make them cheap. Make them like $5-10 cards. Make them easy to pull, and then cute stuff. I think that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they know who their market is now, so they won't mess it up.
I can't find it, but I said something about this with 30th that it was an elite forecast. I think I was sort of making a call that they were going to sort of revisit similar to what they did with Celebrations and like the Greninja Gold Star. But I was thinking that they would make it a true pull with similar rarity to the original Gold Stars, or they might do it with Shinings or Crystals or something. But like, imagine they do Gold Star, Lucario, and Gardevoir with the original artists of the Gold Stars. And they're like 1 in 3,000 pack pull rate or something, whatever, whatever like pull rate.
That'd be crazy.
Right. It would be amazing. So I think that would be fun. That'd be exciting.
Yeah.
The irony of that, like 1 in 3,000 when the original Gold Stars were like 1 in 60.
I know, but obviously you have to adjust for inflation, so to speak, right? Like,
yes.
Yeah. The print volume. What the print volume must be. That's probably about right. I mean, it's probably even more than that. It's probably more than 50x print volume than that era.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's got to be much more.
Yeah, it's probably way more.
Like if Evo Skies has 20,000 Moonbreon 10s, but Gold Star 10s there's like 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like what would that be? A few thousand X.
2000X.
Okay, so then the equivalent pull rate would be 1 in 120,000 packs or something like that.
No one's getting that. All right, no one's pulling these cards.
It kind of puts into perspective for you how rare Gold Stars are, though, right? I mean, it is because of that. Like, just the sheer supply is low. Yeah.
Someone said Gold Star tag teams.
Ooh,
wow,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, if they brought back tag teams, I'd love that.
I like the Shinings would be really cool. Like that foil style of a Shining. I think that would be really cool to revisit something new there.
I like that.
Yeah. All right, guys. 3 hours and 7 minutes. That was a ton of fun. Should we roll out the red carpet?
Yeah, let's do that. Trader John's boys, thank you guys for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I'm sure we'll have future episodes with you again. Why don't you tell all the chat and the folks and the friends where they can find you?
Cool. TraderJonsTCG. We got YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We stream once a week on Whatnot on Mondays for anyone that likes singles. And we're going to be at every single Collecticon this year. So, yeah, if you don't live in California, we're going to be at every single city that Collecticon's going to be at. So hopefully see some of you guys later this year.
We're going on tour.
Hell yeah.
Trader
Hopefully
John's
see you guys
grinding.
at most of them.
Yeah.
What I love about what you guys do is you got 2 different tables in different places of the room. So you're just absolutely absorbing all of the business.
Only when we have to.
Yeah, only when we have to. It's definitely much better when we're together.
Yeah.
But sometimes we're put in positions where there's no choice but to split up.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, that's all we got for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. That was volume 13 of the Midweek Machamps. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another cool video and live stream. Between then and now, I'll have vended at Front Row Pasadena. When's your next show, Ricky?
A month from today, so Saturday, Feb 21, I believe. It's
Miami?
local here, Bay Area.
Oh.
Bay Area, yeah. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. Trey came in the room while we were still live, and I was like, bro.
What are you doing, Trey? What are you doing?
Trey's like, can I get a shout out?
All All right, guys. We will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for tuning in and appreciate you all. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thanks, y'all.
Night.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Thank you.